Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. I hope you guys are having a great start to your week, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. What's new? What's exciting? How's everything going for you all? We have a lot of fun stuff planned for today. A lot of fun stuff planned for the week in general on both platforms, but a lot of good stuff today. And figured I yap with you like I normally do. Tell you guys what we have like in the queue for videos for the day. And then kind of also what we're going to be doing over on Twitch for the rest of the week, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So, hi, Mom has the BB. Wonderful. Keeping me up at night, but wonderful. Ahoy, I'm doing well. I'm glad. Gasp, a wild Tetra. Oh my god, you found a wild Tetra where there was a scheduled time for Tetra to appear. Commissar reporting for duty. Hail, Lioness. Hello, Commissar, how are you? Oh, good. Been better now that you're here. Oh, my heart. Okay. So, a lot of stuff. Where do we start with? Let me tell you guys what videos we're gonna watch. Squirt 11. Oh no. Okay. So where do we start? Let's start with what we're gonna watch today. I'll tell you guys like the queue. It always depends on how long everything goes on. I only have a finite amount of time. Obviously, I gotta watch the baby. Plus, yours is supposed to be going on today as well, which we have to manage and figure all that stuff out. We have the main focus of the day that I know you guys are all excited for. We have Pancreas Snowworks, every Warhammer Fantasy faction explained. I figured it'd be a nice little departure from the 40K that we're always watching. No, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that we're going to stop watching 40K in any capacity, but I figured it'd be a nice breath of fresh air to do something a little different. I've been wanting to kind of learn a little bit about fantasy, at least surface level as well, but it is a lot to add on top of 40K. Yeah! Yours guys stream. BB, how's the BB? BB is keeping me up at night, but she's good. She's just a ball of screams. But we love her, and she's worth every bit of the headache and sleepless nights. Your streams make my workday morning tolerable. Thank you so much, nobody. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yura would be on YouTube today. Monday is a YouTube day for both of us. Our system is pretty straightforward. The baby makes it a little bit more complicated, but usually the rule of thumb is Monday, Wednesday, Friday is YouTube. Everything else is Twitch. Like, realistically, if I did longer, I could do less days on YouTube, but I kind of like having the vibe for YouTube. I like the different atmosphere. I like doing everything over here. But yeah, so, I know a lot of the Warhammer people from YouTube are going to be really excited for tomorrow's stream on Twitch. I'm going to take a one-day break from the Nuzlocke to give my brain a rest, because I've been screaming and smashing my head on the desk during each stage of the playthrough. I will show you guys what you have earned, because... to say that you guys won a bet with me with that is an understatement. But we're gonna be doing I'm gonna build Be'lakor. The Warhammer Fantasy Warhammer 40K demon. The first demon prince. I want to put him together, so I'm gonna put him together on stream. I figured that'll be a fun day. As a massive fantasy lore nerd, I promise I shall not lore dump more than necessary. It's all good. I wasn't there for the whole stream, but I take it we won. Okay, so you didn't win because you deserved it. You won because I was summoned by family because it was my father's birthday, so I had to end early. I 100% would have won. Wisdom will vouch for this. If Wisdom is here right now, Wisdom will vouch for this. He agrees with me wholeheartedly that I would have won. I absolutely would have won. Hey Tetra, I'm having dinner with people soon, so I'll dip in the stream, but I will try to get back as soon as possible. Enjoy Fantasy Warhammer. Thank you, Bio. Thank you. Tetra, obviously not anytime soon, but have you and Yura considered doing a co-op reaction? It's easier said than done, because unlike other people who will collab, we're collabing from literally the same studio. So unless we're running both microphones independently in soundproof rooms, there's going to be a problem. The only other thing that we could do is use one microphone, and then there's going to be a little bit of convolution with that. We could try, but it's a big mess to try to do together. Win's a win. Yeah. Also, I think I told you guys. Okay, so let me I'll sidebar a lot. So before we go back to talking about the other stuff, because there's a lot of fun things to plan for the week. Let me tell you guys what we're watching today. We're watching the Every Fantasy Warhammer Faction Explained. We are going to be watching a small Morpars compilation because he has a couple more shorts that we haven't watched yet. We're going to be watching a couple of Dylan Dylan Hollis bad recipes, of course, because we're slowly making our way through that compilation. We're going to watch a compilation of mini Minutemen, who I have not yet watched, but everybody has recommended me to him. We have an Extinct Zoo, possibly, which is the most bizarre creatures ever found in Amber. And then we have Crackduck, Dark Eldar, the most evil faction in a setting of evil factions. I figured that's a really, really fun rotation of videos if we can get it all done. So we'll see. We will certainly see. Yeah, that kind of radio host setup is hard to pull off for just one call. Oh, it's tough. It's rough because you have to have it. You have to have all the microphones set to only receive in like a small little radius, and it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt. I have never watched Crackduck. So we'll see. Today sounds fun. I think today sounds fun. I think the list of videos for today sounds really fun. You're getting a little bit of 40K, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of recipes, a little bit of Morpars in Australia, and even some Extinct Zoo. I mean, I think it's a really good lineup. Has anyone explained the Ground Wars to you? Yes, they have. It's a bunch of really, like, all the bad recipes we see are not necessarily real. They were just bad recipes that were slipped around to screw with other grandmas. War Boss. Wait. Ooh. I forgot that I owe Warboss the Stompa building stream. Warboss, I was thinking I was gonna build Be'lakor tomorrow on stream. Would you be okay if the Stompa gets put in the backlog? Because Be'lakor just sounds really fun to build. Also, I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared of the Stompa, considering you guys said that, like, it doesn't have instructions or something, right? Today actually sounds like a banger, not gonna lie. I think so too. Crackduck mentioned this is my first experience with Crackduck when we get to him. He's gonna be the last video of the day to keep all you Warhammer people here for the other videos. Can't have you guys escaping me. Crackduck is one of the more entertaining but shorter lore content channels. If you like Adric, Crackduck should right up your street. I love that. I love hearing that. The Stompa is an intimidating build. Okay, yeah. I feel like I can do Be'lakor because it's gonna just be instructional based. It's gonna be weird having the camera set up because I feel like it's really big, but we'll see. You're trying to reason with an orc. I like to think that Warboss is a reasonable orc. All right, Warboss has been pretty reasonable with me. I mean, they've been reasonable with me post couch. Post couch and Stompa, they've been more in the line of reasonable, thank God. Also, did you guys see what I got? I posted it on Twitter. Wait. Let me show you guys. Hold on. I want to show you guys. I'm really excited about this. This is really cool. It's really, really cool. Hold on. Okay, just gotta do it this way because I, of course, made life more difficult for myself. Let's see. Okay. Alright, let me pull this up for you guys. Alright, where's the first part? Look, it came! Look! My book came! I got my Son of the Forest book. Thank you again, guys. Yeah! I'm not gonna say what number it is because I feel like if I did, people will like try to track it or whatever. But like, it's not an exciting number. But I have my numbered book. And wait. Let me show you the inside because it's so damn cool. It makes me so happy. Look at that, and it's signed by Mike Brooks. Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? It's literally my Grail. It is literally my Warhammer Grail. 666. If it was 666, I would have had. I think we would all had to have paid a lot more money. It seems, from what I have heard, the really good numbers are way more expensive. I believe I heard that there's like a $2,000 bounty on number 1 for any of the Black Library. I'm gonna make sure that I'm like right on the ball the second that the Black Library drops happen now, because I want to get more of these. Like this is definitely the centerpiece for the shelf that I'm gonna put together. But like, man, am I happy to have it. Man, am I happy to have it. Like, it's really cool. I love that he also gives himself a mohawk like he has IRL. We need to unethically clone Mike Brooks to write all the Warhammer lore, actually. I mean, I think he's great. I think Mike Brooks is great. The cool thing is I learned that this book was not only the best, like one of the best-selling Warhammer books, it also got like the bestseller, like a New York Times bestseller or something. Like, I forgot if it was New York Times or if it was like a British one, but it actually got the best overall, which I think is wild. Yeah, I love Black Library too. That merge is amazing. Yeah, the black market is scary for them. I don't want to have to go through the black market again. Or the black market. I don't want to have to go through the scalpers again to get this. You guys were crazy to get this for me. I never want to do scalper prices for one of these again. But this one I was not going to pass up. Like, this one I was not going to pass up. This one I wanted this one. And once again, my sleeve's giving away the fact that everything I wear is like fluffy. It's a very good book. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy about it. Okay, would you guys like to see what you won from the bet on what was it, Saturday? The bet you won on Saturday for beating me in the Nuzlocke for the day. Because you guys know how 2 streams ago, you guys won the first bet and I had to get pigtails for my chibi. The second one was I had to get the workout outfit that didn't win in the poll, but I had to get it in cheetah print. So I had to tell my artist that one. And there you go. I showed it off on Patreon, and I'll talk about Patreon in a minute too. But here's the first sketch, because Patreon always gets everything first, right? So they already saw this yesterday. So like I try to give everything that I get, I'm going to try to be giving to Patreon first, if not exclusively. So yeah, this is the chibi model update. Oh sweet, the book arrived. Yay, the book arrived. So yeah. So this is gonna be one of the outfits. I will stay out of it next time. I still feel guilty for that extra reset. Dolphin, you were fine. It wasn't you. I felt bad like putting down the kibosh on Surf, but I needed to make an example after that one. I needed to, because I was losing my mind. I was actually, I don't even know if the video is live. I probably should fix that, because I think I have it hidden, so I should really fix that. Where is it? Content, video, producer. Yeah, it was hidden. It was hidden. Publish. There we go. Yeah, it was a fun time. That video, literally, I spent like 5-10 minutes screaming about how much I hate you guys. And if you were there, you'd understand why I said it. Because someone came in, they're like, why do you hate your chat? And I'm like, you have been here for 3 seconds. If you have been here for more than 5 minutes, you would understand why I hate them. You would understand why I hate them. It's so cute. Did you see this update to the models? Yes, I did. And I also have been told that I will be informed the moment that whole Drakkari Battalion box becomes available to put on Throne. Because I need that, obviously. I need that. But my, how did turning on the ads last stream go out of curiosity? It wasn't a good stream regardless, and it was a pretty short one, but I can look it up real fast. Let's see. Content, live. Because the other thing was we also completely hid that stream to members only, and it's never gonna be made into videos. So that one is like the Lost Primarchs one is like actually redacted. It's lore accurate for the channel. It's actually redacted and only members, and there's a lot of reasons for that one. That was the single most unhinged stream we've ever had on YouTube. It was very Twitch coded. A lot of people who were there were saying it was their favorite stream, but it was one of the most unhinged streams we ever had. All right, let me look at analytics. What do we got for average? It was like in the same ballpark, like a little bit lower to have monetization on. So it's not a great improvement. So I'm gonna leave it alone. Like I'm not gonna bother with it. Tetra aerobic workout video when? Look, I'm sure that there's still more Nuzlocke. There's still more Nuzlocke to go. I still have more days to make bets with you guys. I'm gonna win some of them. Don't you worry. I'm gonna finally win one of these because there's gonna be a point where you guys just will not be able to stop me. But like, yeah, I can get artwork with this. If you guys saw, now this is actually gonna go full circle now to Patreon. Like I was talking with you guys about Patreon before. A couple people joined up recently, which is great, and I'm really grateful to you guys. I am going to make the commission for the first poster this week. Actually tomorrow I'm gonna make the commission. So whatever is winning is going to be the first poster for the Patreon. Anybody who is a tiered member, I think I'm gonna make it the second tier, not the third, because I think the third is too excessive. I think anybody who's the second tier will get access to the posters every month. And I'm letting people vote on it on the YouTube right now. There's the YouTube comment section there, or the YouTube community tab. There's a poll, so you guys can vote. But yeah, if you want something like with this chibi, with this outfit in one of the future posters, I could always do that too. At the end of the day, I just want to make stuff that you guys want. Copium? That's what all gamblers say? Wow. Wow. Nah, I still want the Euro Parkour backflip stream? Wait, what? I hope you nerfed the redeems. They're already nerfed, Riku. They're already nerfed and they still crippled me. They still wanted to cripple me, but yeah. So, if you guys are interested in the Patreon, Pen, if you could put a link to it. But yeah, if you, like I said, I'm gonna be posting more frequently now that the baby's here, so I actually have the leeway to do so. I'm gonna keep on putting stuff there early. You guys will get to see the coffee artwork early. Actually, you'll be the only ones who see the coffee artwork until the coffee gets released. What else? I can put merch updates there because I have some really cool merch updates like the plushie. All right, dinner time. See you soon. Take it easy, bio. 99% of gamblers quit just before they win big. Yeah, I'm gonna get those 48 hours off the timer. That's gonna happen. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Did you what? You do the Patreon thing. She nerfed when it still wasn't enough. Never underestimate chat's dedication. No, but it was enough. I would have won. I would have won. I got taken away 90 minutes early. I need 90 minutes, and I was like 5 minutes away from the third gym to get the requirement that I needed to win. Like, I literally was there. She's probably be a Skaven fan. I'm gonna feel it. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna like the Skaven. Who doesn't like the rats? But I don't know what I'm gonna be a fan of. What's the status of the plushie? Plushie had a couple more revisions. Like I said, I'll probably post this in the Patreon tonight. A couple more revisions. It's looking good. Once it goes into final production, is when I can have the my representative put it back up for like a last second sale or a last ditch sale, whatever they want to call it. So yeah, and I'll let you guys know when that happens. Don't worry. Don't you know the house always wins? I would have won is the words. No, I would have won. We ended an hour and a half early, and I was like 5 minutes away from the goal. Well, like 10, but I was like 10 minutes away from the goal. I had 9 times the amount of time needed to be able to do it. I had 9 times the amount of time needed. Apoc really getting griefed on the maid outfit? Wait, what? Wait, what did Apocalypse do with the maid outfit? Excuse me? Skaven kind of the greatest superior of all? Yes. I'm assuming the yes is Skaven. Never underestimate the total autism of chat. I don't ever question you and your Dino Nuggies, I promise. Don't you listen to them, Tetra? You just tell yourself this time it'll definitely be different. All right. Well, then you guys tell me, what do you guys want then for the next challenge? I'll do the same thing, 3 badges. I have to get 3 badges in a 5-hour stream. So what do you want? What do you want as the offer if I get 48 hours off if I win? That's the real, because look what you turned my chibi into. Look what you turned my poor chibi into. Oh my god! Now I see why Warboss likes the Skaven. They talk. They have the same. They have the same autism as the orcs, where they turn everybody in chat and to start talking in their own little not language. I don't even know what you say. Just Skaven speak. Huh? Chibi got the third outfit, but pocket. Yeah, the only one that didn't get made is the maid outfit. The only one that did not win was the maid outfit, which is kind of wild to me because the maid outfit I thought was a front runner. I asked Cell what she would want after we raided, and she said maid outfit. Yeah, no, she's a big fan of the maid outfit. Rainbow Cheetah Prince. You guys have already gotten me them. You guys have already gotten me those Edom. Dwarves, our artillery has struck our own troops. No, Skaven fire deployed the Doom Rocket directly into our clan rats. Yes, yes, ha 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 ha. Oh my god. She's a jazzerciser. What of it? Oh my god. Oh my god. You know what? When this model is finished, when I debut the chibi outfits, which will probably be in a couple months, because it does take time to have them rigged and all that stuff too, and this is just a rough coloring. I'm gonna have to like watch like the Jane Fonda workout videos. That's gonna be like my reaction content. Oh god, no. That would be the worst kind of torture. That would be the actual worst kind of torture. You'll understand once you get into their lore. Okay, sounds like a plan. Hi Tetra, what's up? We may hit our men, but we hit theirs too. She gotta learn the insanity still. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I can't wait. Was there anything else that I missed? We talked about that tomorrow is going to be a build stream. So we all get a little bit of a break. I get a little bit of a break from the Nuzlocke for one day. So that means the Nuzlocke will continue on Thursday. Nuzlocke will continue on Thursday. But we'll do we're gonna build Be'lakor on stream tomorrow on Twitch. I'm going to have the artwork commission for the posters for Patreon out tomorrow. Realistically, my artist works quite fast on those projects, so you can expect the poster to be available by the end of the week. And then we'll figure out what next month's is, and we'll start getting ahead of the stuff and everything. What will you be building? I'm building Be'lakor. I currently have a very big backlog. I have a Stampa, I have Be'lakor, I have the Drakari ship. I have a Drakari strike force, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called, what the term is. I have Vashtor. I have Commander Farsight. I have some Dark Angels troops. Cetra does not have scoliosis, for Cetra's spine does not curve. What the fuck? What am I reading? You think taking a break, all I hear is more time to farm channel points? Yeah, I mean, I mostly, like, here's the thing. I talked about this with Wisdom. Because it's a give and take, right? It's a catch-22. If I wait longer, I do risk people getting paychecks and then going harder. However, if I keep going day after day, my mental is going to actually just get demolished. Because, like, where I was on day 1 versus where I was on day 3 is like night and day. Like, when I say that I actively was smashing my face into my desk and everybody could hear me doing it, I am not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. Someone got timed out for a full week. It was horrible. But I am too determined to win. You guys make me smile. Cetra's titles go for so long. Wait, what? Go for soon too long. Huh? Golden Bone Lord, Avenger of the Dead, Carrion Master, Eternal Warden of Nehexland, Breaker of Jav's Bones, and many, many more. Oh my god. How many? You guys, like, I didn't expect all of you guys. Oh, Zinth will be excited about this one. Zinth, I don't know if you were here earlier. I'm building Be'lakor tomorrow. I'm giving myself a break from the Nuzlocke. So we're going to build Be'lakor. I'm really excited for it. And on top of this, of BB Nights, what? I thought that when you were saying Cetra, you were making a joke on my name, and I didn't understand. Chad is evil and not the Tee way. Yeah, that's true. Cetra is appreciative of fine arts. He knows the best things. Cetra has the loof. Is Cetra just like Trazen? What the hell? Don't worry, Tetra, I got your back. Wait, you be as wrong as you... What is that supposed to mean? You guys didn't even say what you want if you beat me on another day, which you're not. For that matter, if you guys are so cocky that you'll win, I should up the ante that I get 72 hours off the timer. It's an in-lore character. I get you. Cetra rules, Tetra doesn't. Wow. I'm supposed to be the queen of the jungle. What the fuck? Also, funny comments I saw, by the way, on one of my most recent videos that I uploaded. It was people were talking about ×2 speed, and they're like, yeah, Tetra, I couldn't put you on ×2 if I wanted. It made me smile. Did you know Cetra's an empath? Oh no, it's Angron. No, it's Angron. You said we were evil? That's a weird way to say beloved. Oh, I do love you all. But you are actually... We need a big reward for 72 hours? No. It's because you guys are so confident. You guys are so sure you're going to win. I get a higher ante. You guys have won 2 days already. So if that's going to be the case, then I should be able to get a bigger payout if I win. Hi, Merly. So by that logic, I should get 72 hours, and then you guys can figure out what you want from me. I can't imagine Tetra on ×2. She'd be incomprehensible. The fast I can put on Tetra is 1.5, and I still understand her. Hey, at least you can understand me at 1.5. Tetra's just fine on ×2. Honestly, is it because of the TikTok brain rot that everybody's so used to fast talking? Because a lot of people apparently play YouTube videos at ×2. The idea of doing that bothers me. Like, the idea of putting things on ×2 legitimately bothers me and confuses me to no end. Like, no offense if you do it. Like, believe me. Well, Sam, if you go to the community tab section, there's a vote currently for the Patreon posters, and right now it's looking like another Drakari piece is going to be the winner for the poster. Second place right now is a Sister of Battle. Then third place is another Melanie artwork. And then fourth place is Nurse Joy Tetra. New York is on 2x speed is a horrifying thought. ×2 on YouTube is a big no. Yeah, me too. I can't do it. I talk fast, but I don't listen fast. I can follow along. I just don't like to. Tetra Cetra for the fan art. You being part Egyptian. I am Egyptian. Unironically. Or Egyptian descent, right? Like I'm an American, but because there's always that argument of Americans always saying that there are other cultures. I'm the culmination of a melting pot, like everybody else here. But yeah, I'm Egyptian descent. I'm used to fast talking because I do policy debate in school. But when it's just an entertainment video, I lose all focus on getting information vomit. That's what I would think too. Yura does ×2 speed. Yeah, nodders. You're a little nutter. You're a little nutter. Okay, so we got ourselves a Toon Queen, lads. There's an Egyptian... Wait, is there an Egyptian theme? Like an Egyptian faction? Then the Tomb Kings are for you? Oh, by the way, Soul. I got the email from Audible from you. I was so confused. I have never had that happen. Thank you so much. I'm going to listen. I have to put Bluetooth headphones on Throne so I can eventually like listen while I'm just holding the baby. Because I'm gonna be listening to the Caiaphas Cain book that you sent me while I'm holding the baby. So thank you so much. Like thank you so much. Like I'm legitimately grateful. It was such a pleasant surprise. Maybe you'll have to find out. Don't spoil too much, girly pops. No spoilers now, lads. Guess mummies are back on the menu, boys. Oh my god, mother likes mummies? What? Glad you got... Yeah, I was so confused. I'm like, why do I have an email from Audible? I'm like, is this a phishing attempt? And I look at it and it's like, you have a book you have an audiobook of Caiaphas Cain, Hero of the Imperium. And I'm like, what? I was pretty. Put Kaiba's cane on speaker, educate BB at the same time. You're sleeping when I'm doing this. We need to calm down. Yeah. One AirPod for Tetra, one AirPod for BB. No! I'm not indoctrinating her into 40K. No, Brits keep away from the mummies. You will like both Kane. Well, I'm sure I'm going to like the Gaunt's Ghost book, but the Kane one I'm like super excited for first. So like that's the one I'm going to jump right into, and then the Gaunt's one I'm going to listen to afterwards. I have to just, like I said, I have to get Bluetooth headset because I'm going to probably put it on my phone. And the new iPhones don't have headphones because why? I don't understand why headphones have somehow become obsolete. They're so much better to be plugged in. Maybe I'm just really old school like that, but like I like headphone jacks. It's not hard to put a headphone jack in. I prefer it. I prefer having the wire. BB yearns for the grimdark future. No. She's already a little nurgling. That would all but assure BB's first words would be for the Emperor. No. Her first words would just be another fart or another time of her pooping on me when I'm holding her on my lap. If you like Kane, you'll love Gotrek and Felix in the fantasy. Okay, cool. Because it's cheaper to not include a headphone jack. Okay, you know what? Fair. I refuse to use Bluetooth earphones, but I have to use Bluetooth headphones. That's the problem. Like I have to use them because actually wait. Let me do this. Let me go put my cool picture back on instead of the one is me in 80s fitness. Hold please. Yeah, there we go. Much cooler picture to have in the background. Just a heads up, if you read the Kane series, listen to them in publication order. They jump around his life, but it's done like that on purpose. Oh, okay. The one you gave me was the first one, right? Tyler already had her first word. She said, wow, all the time. Based. Yeah, she is based in Orkpilled. That's fair. BB worships Nurgle, as all babies do. If BB's a Nurgling, clearly Dawn is Korn, who is Slaanesh and Tzeentch representatives. I don't think there's any Slaanesh representatives in the house. I would say Shortcake is Tzeentch, and then Magnus is Chaos Undivided. Even though he's just a little blob, he's just a sweet boy. I just refuse to buy a phone where I can't get wired headphones. My next one will probably be will use USB-C ones. Oh wait, do they use wait? There's USB-C headphones. Wait, unironically, are there USB? I sound so dated, but like, are there USB-C headphones that I could use? Tetris socks are the Slaanesh rep. My entire draw right now, I want you guys to know this because of you. Like, the entire top layer of my draw is just rainbow and cheetah print because of you guys. I want you to know. Lamau why is that? Why are you guys acting like that? Like, oh, poor baby. What? I didn't know. I do everything from a desktop. I don't know. Like my earbuds aren't USB-C. They're USB. Can't believe this. Unspeakable excess of... Oh my god. You love 80s cheetah print? Shut up, Merly. You're just saying that because you want to get 80s fitness yourself. What have you done? Why? Said the rainbow. Oh my god. Sweet summer child. Yeah, it really was. It really did feel like sweet summer child vibes. That's some mage. All right, let's get into the Warhammer video. I'm excited though. We get to listen to Pancreas Senpai, which is always fun. She is not 40, you lot. See, don't believe that. She's a 40-year-old mom. She can't keep up with earphone cables. No. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you guys like this? Huh? Why are you guys like this? God damn. We could be 80s fitness buddies, as you said, like mother, like daughter. Oh my god. Your drawer, you mean dresser? Okay, so it's the top drawer of my dresser. So I have I hate admitting this on YouTube because it gets fucking locked in perpetuity. Because of Twitch doing this joke with getting me these socks, I had to get a second dresser. So I actually have a small dresser that is only filled with them. So, yeah. Yeah. Pancreas the elf lover. This is why we support Pancreas. Because we're all unhinged. Don't worry, we still love you if you're a good... Wow. Okay, we're getting the video on. Freaking potatoes. Actual freaking potatoes. Okay, let me turn off my music. Okay. And now it is time. It is time for every Warhammer Fantasy faction explained by Pancreas.
Controversial statement. I like when people get into Warhammer. It's always a joy to have more people to play with and interact with.
Oh my god, we're starting off with an actual, like, base take? Oh my god, not a gatekeeper? That's my oshi right there. That's my oshi.
Hobby space. It's a new chance for me to try and convert someone, anyone, into accepting that the Eldar are actually really cool and interesting, and please, just for 5 minutes, stop saying elf bad. But speaking of elves, every time there's a wave of people that first learn about Warhammer, there's always one thing in common with them. None of them realize there's more to Warhammer than Space Marines, Tyranids, and spikier Space Marines. There's a whole other pair of settings that also exist, and they just fly right under the radar half the time. And this sucks, because the best Warhammer setting is right there. Yeah, GW ended it, but then it came back. And if you don't want to, you don't even have to collect thousands of dollars of minis to play with this one.
Oh.
Kind of. Warhammer Fantasy has been around longer than even 40k. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, it got blown up for a little bit, but thanks to Total War, Vermintide, and the constant nagging of the community, you can once again play in the old world. With elves, dwarves, and humans as standard, but also some more out-there races, such as magical frogs, rats, and Walmart shoppers. And not enough people know about them. Not nearly enough. And not nearly enough people learn that this setting is even a thing. So I'm going to be doing my part today. Today I'm going to learn you all about every faction in Warhammer Fantasy. Some of them had extensive army lists and plot relevance, some of them languished when unupdated army books for years on end, and some of them until recently were relegated to about 3 pages.
Also, I'm just going to say the armor already looks so much cooler. I know that's heresy in and of itself. I love the fantasy aesthetic when it comes to armors compared to like the Space Marine ones. Like, don't get me wrong, Space Marine armor is cool. It's just fantasy armor looks sick.
Of background lore. Doesn't matter, we're doing it all. If you can conceivably consider it an actual faction, they'll be here. Think of it as a companion to this video. That one was me trying to overview the setting as a whole, and this one is about the groups of people in the setting. So let's dive into a world of fantasy and see what all that nonsense about them having the Warhammer is all about. But you're about to start listening to me list off all kinds of factions, and do you know what you could be listening to me with? Raycon and their Everyday Earbuds, the sponsor of this video. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds are some of the finest...
Pancreas, why do you do this to me? I want to support him in his ads, but I don't want to make this a, I never want to make these, what's it called? Sponsored content, because, like, it's still sponsored content for him. I'm just not paid for it myself, but I'm basically running an ad if I keep it on. But yeah, go support, I'll say this, go support Pancreas and his channel and all his little sponsors.
Began. That's orc spelled with a C, by the way, not a K. But across the board, the greenskins of Warhammer Fantasy aren't that different from the ones in 40k, which is why we're starting with them. They like to fight, they're mushroom people, they're green. If you took an orc from 40k and put him in a greenskin tribe in Fantasy, he probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Okay,
Might wonder why no one has
so orcs are basically the same. There's like no difference between a 40k orc and a fantasy orc. That's, I mean, it's at least consistency, right? We like continuity here.
And Shuda hanging around, but he'd be content with his life regardless. He might even be happier, because these orcs have characters like Grimgor instead of Ghazghkull. There are no thinking and tactics for Grimgore, only beating everything near him to death. The Greenskins used to have some pretty different lore, being closer to D&D than anything else.
Really?
They had half-orcs, and they didn't reproduce with mushroom spores. Then as
Really?
time went on, that was moved away from, and eventually...
Wait, how on earth would you even get a half-orc in the Warhammer universe, right? Like, if you have something that literally propagates itself through spores, how on earth do you reproduce spores in a human? How would that even work? How would that even work?
we came to where we are now in the Old World, that being that the orcs hopped a ride with the Old Ones' ships when they came to the Warhammer Fantasy world. More on them later. From there, they naturally began spreading out across the entire world. The Old Ones and their servants did their best to get rid of the orcs, as they did all other races they weren't quite fond of, but you can't get rid of the orcs once they're on a planet.
Lizard people look cool
It's just
too.
not possible. So nowadays, if you wander around a given area long enough, chances are you'll find some greenskins kicking about, making things worse for whoever lives there. The orcs themselves are one of the biggest similarities between the two settings. The biggest guy is in charge of the tribe, and if you get a real big boss, he might be in charge of multiple tribes. And when you get a really big boss, you can get a whole proper WoW going. When this happens,
The Total War Factions trailer was genuinely great. I think we watched it, actually. Also, thank you very much, Video Game Archive. Thank you. It was very kind of you.
usually get a whole lot of dead humans and dwarfs. Painting something red still makes it go faster, painting it blue makes it luckier, and can block arrows from killing the blue-painted orc.
Really?
And they still love looting. Not nearly as much as in 40k, but you can always find an orc in a tribe wearing dwarf plate armor, or wielding a human greatsword he grabbed off a corpse. They do have some more savage brethren who judge other orcs for using things like basic tools, or digging a pit to shit in rather than just letting it drop where you stand, but aside from being a bit more magical, those orcs aren't really all that.
How dare you dig a hole? If you don't take a crap right where you are while you're battling, you're a coward. How dare you hide your defecation?
Different. Where you get the biggest change, though, is with the goblins.
Oh?
See, in 40k, grots are an entire species of plot irrelevance to the orcs. You'll get one like Makari once in a blue moon, who are allowed to be in the shadow of the spotlight of a far more famous orc, but the goblins in fantasy are an actual threat all by themselves.
Is Makari the one that's completely busted in the tabletop? The one that, like, you have to roll, like, a 2 to be able to hit it? But, like, if you roll anything other than, like, a 2, it dodges it? Is that Makari? Because I remember there was a grot in the 40k tabletop that's just unbelievably busted by being infuriatingly evasive. Fun fact, Storm of Chaos was a narrative event that GW staged, shaped by player feedback. It ended with the orcs beating Chaos to a pulp despite GW trying to rig the results for Chaos, and they declared it all non-canon. That's so funny. Yup, see, look at that. I remember these characters.
Sure, they're still cowardly and will refuse a stand-up fight unless they outnumber the enemy 40-1. Sure, they're still kicked around by the orcs and are used to do all the manual construction stuff. And sure, they're still slightly smarter than the orcs, so anything resembling any actual construction or research is done by them. But every now and then, not often, but every now and then, you get a goblin who's a cut above the rest. And when that happens, everyone's in trouble. The goblins are cunning little buggers. They know in a straight-up fight they're gonna lose, so they'll wait till the biggest orc around is sleeping and slit his throat, or poison his food, or convince him there's something shiny in a nearby cave filled with hungry trolls. And sometimes, if they're really insane, they'll overdose on literally magic mushrooms, and when they come back to reality, they've slaughtered every orc in charge in a manic frenzy. Now, instead of a big green moron who just about knows which way is forward leading the army, you have someone like Skarsnik leading an orc army, a green little Sun Tzu who's gonna run circles around you and your entire military.
Can you run an entire army of goblins this time around in fantasy, or is it still just like an extension of the orcs?
Or you can get one that pretty much just lucks into the position, like Grom the Paunch, hallowed be his girth. Instead of being clever, he just got incredibly lucky and was forced to eat troll meat. Instead of exploding, which is normally what happens when you do that, he just kept growing alongside it. 3 things happened. 1, he got so incredibly fat he'd beat rival orcs by sitting on them. 2, he became a legend among goblins everywhere, the alpha male fantasy they all wish they could be. And 3, he nearly ended the world by sailing from the equivalent of the Middle East or Africa to the middle of the Atlantic and destabilizing the High Elves. If you like grots but wish they could, do anything important ever, maybe take a look at the goblins. Their history really isn't anything special though, mostly because they're greenskins and what you see is what you get. Usually, they beat each other up. Every now and again, one of them...
Troll meat, if not cooked, keeps regenerating. So, like, if you eat troll meat, it will just keep on, like, growing in your stomach? That's horrifying. That's horrifying.
beats up enough orcs that he convinces them all to go beat someone else up instead. This continues until that war boss is killed, and then the orcs disband and go back to beating each other up again. Some evil dwarfs like to use them as slaves, and when they tried to make bigger, stronger, and smarter orcs to use as slaves, they immediately learned why that was a bad idea when the orcs revolted. If you like being mean and green, you'll like the orcs. And one crucial thing I nearly forgot, they love to dance. Warzag may be the prophet of the orc gods first, but he's a hell of a dancer second. Now let's get out of the realm of similarities and into some things fantasy really does different.
Lizard men.
When the old ones showed up, the planet they arrived on was ideal for creating the ultimate weapon to fight chaos.
Okay, so question, because they're saying the old ones now, and this is where my ignorance is going to start showing. Now, there's going to be similarities between fantasy and 40k, but they're not canonically connected, right? So these old ones are not the same old ones from 40k. They're just synonymous, right? Right? Just to make sure that I understand this correctly, because I wanna not screw up my understanding of this. All right, let me continue.
Of course, they still had to create it. So to do that, they started by moving the planet closer to the sun to warm it up, which pissed off a lot of things on it, like the dragons.
Separate dimension.
Speaking of, there were a lot of races on the planet that wouldn't really like to share the room with the old ones' creations. So to help them with the legwork, as well as get rid of all those fellas, the old ones created the lizardmen. They also created most of the other playable races in the setting, so unless otherwise stated, assume all these factions started out as the test tube babies of the old ones in one way or another. The lizardmen were not this ultimate weapon against chaos, although they were still pretty good at fighting. You know how I said the orcs resisted extermination by the old ones? That was just them who managed it. Everyone else fell under a tide of angry lizards, dinosaurs, or angry lizards riding dinosaurs. With that small little bit of genociding out of the way, the old ones set about making the world fit their needs. The lizardmen were their chief assistants, and to be the best secretaries they could possibly be, the old ones made them in several different flavors. All of them with a dash of Mesoamerican cultures thrown in, because if you have the option to have Aztec lizard riding dinosaurs, you have no good reason not to take it. First you have the Slan. The Slan are the best wizards in all the world. They may be big fat toad people, but the first generation ones were the ones who changed the entire planet's orbit, moving around where it needed to be in space. Moving down the generational line, they did get weaker, but that's highly relative. Second generation Slan could only cause entire mountain ranges to suddenly appear at the drop of a hat. These were the lizardmen who directly worked with the old ones and delivered their messages and will to the rest of them.
As far as I know, the only characters that are the same are the Chaos Gods. Well, first of all, thank you. But the old ones are there now too. So like if there's the old ones and the Chaos Gods. So that's sort of the thing I was concerned with, right? Or not concerned with, but curious about, because like if Slaanesh is in this, is it the same Slaanesh, or is it just the same character but not the same Slaanesh?
Next, you have the Saurus. Stupid people might think that since the lizardmen are a Bronze Age civilization at best, they're not much of a threat. Then an 8-foot-tall monster from the Cretaceous period clubs you to death with an obsidian axe, and you find out just how the Saurus were able to depopulate an entire planet. These were the generals of the lizardmen armies. They were bred for war and only war. They're pretty straightforward, and all their characters have the same background of bred to kick ass, but this is Warhammer. That's a feature, not a bug, and they break it down to its simplest possible form. Next are the Skinks. They're little chibi gecko axolotl things that do to the day-to-day management of lizardman society. You need a building planned out or to do basic diplomacy, you send the Skinks. They're also skirmishers. When the trees start speaking great planese,
they're like
it's the Skinks doing it. They've even got their own god all to themselves, Sotek. It was a bit of a controversy when he came around at first, but the rest of the lizardmen seemed content enough to let him be worshipped. Finally, we have the Croxagors. They're alligator men. They build the buildings and gator death roll all over enemy armies. That's it, but that's all they need to do. When Chaos first came and the old ones fled, the lizardmen had to figure out how to not only survive, but continue the old ones' work in their absence, which they kind of sort of have been pulling off a little bit. They held off the invasion at the cost of almost all the first Slan and most of their spawning pools, turning them into a very numerically disadvantaged race. Not that this stops them from still sometimes rampaging across the world, but
the fantasy setting is technically a different dimension, but I like to think the fantasy setting is just so deep in the warp it's hard to get to. See, that's really cool. Also, thank you, Memento. See, that's a really cool idea. I like that, but again, I'm even more clueless to this than most people would be, right? Because I'm so confused as far as like where it would be in the Warhammer universe. So like as far as I can see, it's going to be separate, which I kind of wish it was connected. But I know that it's like not, there's no confirmation, but I feel like GW is never going to give us an answer for those types of things.
They are largely held up in the jungles of Lustria nowadays, also known as South America, because Warhammer Fantasy is just Earth if someone with really shaky hands drew a map of it.
Yeah.
They're isolationists, the Slann will spend centuries at a time meditating on the few plaques the old ones have left, and they really hate when tourists come to Lustria because it's usually to steal those plaques.
Sotek is actually the god of all lizardmen. The main Slann actually worships him after Lizard Moses explained. Oh, okay. Thank you, Orlok.
All gold, you see, because gold doesn't tarnish or rust. Convenient for writing things down in a jungle, less convenient when all the warm bloods come to steal the shiny stuff. If you seal an army, you're either screwed because the Great Plan dictates your death, or screwed because you're somewhere they don't think you should be. Very simple faction, but again, that's a positive. Sometimes being dino-brained is the way to go.
The Empire
also known
of
as
Man.
the Imperium, but not as awful. These guys are the default protagonist faction. They're the strongest nation of men in the world.
Okay, not gonna lie, that armor is really cool. Just saying, that armor plus Griffin, kind of fire.
And that's no meaningless boast here, because there's actual competition they have in that department, unlike the Imperium. They formed about 2,500 years prior to the setting's modern day, when a pretty cool dude named Sigmar was born. Sigmar had a dream, uniting the scattered tribes of barbarians.
Wait. So is the Age of Sigmar built around this guy?
Into one unified nation of mankind, to drive back the darkness and bring peace to the land. He did this chiefly by beating up everyone who disagreed with him, but in fairness, most of them deserved it. If this sounds familiar, let me just remind you that this guy was here first. Plus, Sigmar realized that outright killing everyone just because they disagree with you is perhaps a bad idea that will lead to problems later down the line, so he settled for only beating them up. Sigmar didn't just beat up people, though. He also beat up a lot of orcs. Like, a whole lot of orcs. So many orcs that the dwarfs swore eternal friendship with mankind, because if Sigmar is so kick-ass, surely the rest of humanity can't be that bad either. He united most of the tribes of man in the area, and you better believe I'll come back to the most later, and formed the Empire of Man. 50 years later, he just up and left. A little bit after that, he became a god, and the Empire soon worshipped Sigmar as the chief god of their pantheon.
Is there any way possible that the Emperor of Mankind is just Sigmar? I'm sure that that's like some heretical statement to drop right there, but like, is there any possibility that that's the case? Like, at all? Or is that like, there's no way possible?
The Empire is pretty unique as far as fantasy factions go. Usually a fantasy setting will reach the medieval era and then very explicitly never move past that for the next trillion years of its history. The Empire isn't like that. When Sigmar was doing his thing, it was barely the Iron Age. The dwarves giving them steel weapons every now and then was considered the height of technological advancement. Nowadays, 2,500 years later, the Empire has tanks. Good tanks? Yeah. Look, for a Renaissance age civilization, tanks are pretty damn impressive no matter how good they actually are. They have...
Age of Sigmar is the sequel to Fantasy after GW ended Fantasy World by blowing it up, but then they brought back Fantasy as well, didn't they? Also, thank you very much again.
Factories, mechanical horses...
Also, I just need to... I'm sorry, I keep pausing. I love the fact that I asked that question, and the reason everyone gives me is not like anything like lore related. It's just like everyone's just saying, nah, Sigmar is actually competent, and he's a Chad, unlike the Emperor. My bad. My bad.
And countless other things that make you wonder if the book you're reading was put in the fantasy section by mistake. They also have wizards who scam people out of $50 for the thrill of it, politicians who constantly need to be wrangled by the one competent guy in the entire government, and enough floppy hats to arm the entire Holy Roman Empire with. They're still normal people, though. The three things that make the Empire great aren't genetically modified super soldiers, or lost technological secrets from a golden age, or even the direct intervention of their gods. It's faith, steel, and gunpowder. A whole lot of each. Give a man a halberd, a cause to fight for, and his friends by his side, and it turns out you can push back even the most determined of evil murder Vikings time and time again. Most Warhammer Fantasy books follow the Imperial
for this
characters
game, right?
around,
Or for
and you
this
get a good
universe?
feel for just how fleshed out this land is through them. You've got the Heartlands, sure, places like Altdorf, where it's interconnected with the wider world, magic runs through the very city through its colleges of magic, and elves and dwarfs can be seen regularly. Then you have backwater shitholes like Ostermark, where the people are outnumbered by everything nearby that wants to kill them, and guns are still a scary black magic invention for a good half the population.
Oh, this is
Or
Total War
Everland,
Warhammer,
whose
okay.
most noticeable trait is that they hunt halflings for sport there. There's halflings in the Empire,
Yeah, I
by
need
the
to play
way.
that now.
They can vote on the next emperor because they baked a previous one a really good meal. They also had a civil war over pie. Don't be a halfling in Everland. You're gonna decorate someone's mantelpiece sooner or later. Of course, this is still Warhammer, fantasy or not. Sure, I said it's not as awful as the Imperium, but it still has witch hunters who will burn you alive for being a wizard, or being a mutant, or just for being a bit too ugly, because that's also a sign of chaos mutation. And it's still a Renaissance age civilization. For 90% of people, this means it's a medieval civilization, but you might see more pretty statues and paintings than your ancestors did. You're still probably gonna die of the water making you poop too much. They're bordered by the undead, beastmen are everywhere once you leave the city limits, and worst of all, they have people who have sex with horses for neighbors. The Empire is constantly on the defense. From orcs, from chaos, from beastmen, which are a different kind of chaos, and really anyone else who's feeling a bit bored that day. But the average citizen of the Empire will do their part to keep the hordes at bay, and at the end of the day, they did this for 2,500 years until the authors decided reality itself had to go, which is a pretty good track record. They're a human, relatable nation, like if the Imperial Guard got to actually be the main characters of 40k instead of Space Marine 9001, model on sale now for $60. It's grounded, with people having normal struggles, but also fantastical, with wizards and monsters being everywhere. They do have one ultimate ace in the hole, though, the reigning emperor, Karl Franz. The best statesman in the old world, the guy who wields the Warhammer. You know the one, the actual real-life Warhammer logo. That's his, and he's very good at using it. He's the kind of politician who could convince you into giving him everything you own and leave you thinking you got the better deal, but also the kind of person who wouldn't do that to you. He's got everyone's interest at heart, and overall, this guy's the best emperor in Warhammer. Not Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer in general. Kiss my ass, corpse worshippers. This one can walk, talk, and beat you to death in the name of the Empire. If you like relatable folk with a touch of the fantastic, Sigmar and his people have your back.
All right, another question. I gotta tell you, I've been aggressively in this hobby now for what, like 3 months, going on 4. I don't see a lot of Emperor sympathizers. So it's like, how like, for him to say that, how frequent are the corpse worshippers? Because I really have only seen like one person who's actively gone out of their way to like defend the Emperor while everybody else has been like mocking him incessantly. So I find that surprising. I find it surprising that he's even dealt with that.
I did say most tribes are united by Sigmar. Unfortunately, a couple weren't able to be integrated for one reason or another. Let's talk about the one that I like first. Kislev is all of Eastern Europe thrown into a pot and mixed to boiling until it coagulated into one Slavic specialty stew.
Yeah, we love our Slavs!
Which is also their country's greatest defense. They wear thick fur pelts. They have winged hussars. They also squat in the middle of a battlefield.
Oh my god!
The natural state of the Kislevite. And vodka. Even the dwarfs and their genetically ingrained alcoholism respect the drinking skills of a Kislevite. Kislev's job in the setting is to face tank chaos invasions before they get to the Empire of Man, which they do pretty well. Half their cities are torn down in the process, but they're a hardy bunch. They walk into the winter snow, and when everyone occupying their land freezes to death, come back in and rebuild. Their religion is different from the Empire's, and they view them as weak southerners, but the two nations are still staunch allies. Mostly because when the forces of actual hell are your neighbors, anyone else is going to be a good friend. They're led by the Tsar or Tsarina of Kislev, because
I kind of like the Kislev so far.
GW was worried you wouldn't understand which region this place is based off of. Many times, and indeed the last one before the world blew up, this was an ice witch, a handy person to have running your country when a raging blizzard is considered a mild day. You still can't play as Kislev in the old world, thank you GW for that extreme blue balling, but they had some pretty heavy redesigns, and a lot of the marketing for the old world did at one point feature Kislev. Here's hoping GW realizes that winged hussars riding bears is something people are interested in.
Yeah, that sounds cool as hell.
That sentence needs to be said. I don't know why anyone would ever need to be told that. Blat. These are those people who have sex with horses. When Sigmar was uniting everyone, they refused to join him, because obviously they were too good to join him. Did they have some super special magical secret, or a technology that could let them surpass the fledgling empire, or some other race in the whole? No, but they copied the elves' homework and our French, so they decided they were too good to shack up with a future god and went it alone. Bretonnia looked at all the cool advancements the empire was making, how it was a dynamic nation in a genre that usually gets to the medieval era and then freezes like it's going into cryo-sleep, and said no. We will not be doing that. We will be staying as medieval land. It is mandated by the government that technology will not advance, that society will never have any major upheavals, and that everything is just perfect the way it is. It's like that old decree the Pope made that declared crossbows were a blasphemous weapon, taken to be an entire society's philosophy. Bretonnia is all about knights. Baby knights proving themselves.
I feel like Pancreas once again just proves why he's my Oshi. Because I already don't like these guys either. I don't like the Arthurian overkill.
Some magical knights defending the realm and saving damsels, knights leading the country to further the goals and interests of the rest of the knights. Imagine King Arthur.
They're French?
That's it. Just imagine King Arthur stretched out to be a whole faction. The in-universe justification.
He even referred to it as
saw
Arthurian,
high-elf
too.
Cavalry and just ran with the concept. Out of universe, it's just King Arthur and every medieval stereotype thrown together. You could, admittedly, say the same thing about the Empire and the Holy Roman Empire, or Kislev in Eastern Europe, but those are eras and places fantasy writers don't usually copy wholesale, so they get a pass from me. Britonia is the land of almost every fantasy setting ever conceived since Lord of the Rings, and it shows. Unfortunately, they can afford to do all of this fantasy stasis, because an elf goddess is playing them like a fiddle. Their precious Lady of the Lake, also known as the Elf Goddess of Magic, chooses some super special knights to become Grail Knights. They sip from her chalice of bathwater, and when the now Grail Knight
Beggars like them only slightly more than GW. I love that.
emerges, they're like supercharged D&D paladins. Bullets are an inconvenience, their armor is magically toughened, and their mounts never tire, so until the Empire invents the Gatling gun, they're able to keep being aggressive backwater dickweeds. In older lore they were tolerable, but in modern lore someone must have felt they weren't angsty enough and made them nice and extra oppressive. The peasants are honored if the noble allows them to have 3 pennies a week instead of 2.
Damn.
Ladies who aren't magical are property because medieval times, and social mobility is a punchline. I hope you like medieval medicine. The Empire's medicine already isn't that great. Bretonian medicine is the kind of thing that has a 300% fatality rate. And horses. Everyone has a horse. Even the lowliest peasants have a horse that more often than not eats and lives better than they do. I like horses, but I don't like them that much. If you've ever been to medieval times and made that your entire personality, Bretonia is a good faction.
Oh
for
my
you.
God.
Because God is real and hates me.
How many of you guys have actually been to medieval times? How many of you guys have actually gone out of your way to go to medieval times? Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I never hear about it anymore. But I have been to medieval times more than once. Bretonia being tricked into worshiping the lady is stupid. We've been tricked into worshiping a god as a god. I mean, fair point. Did you know Adeptus Ridiculous recently finished all their episodes covering the Warhammer Fantasy factions? Could be a good reaction series if you want to dig deeper into each faction. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
They're also one of the starter factions of the old world, so getting into Warhammer Fantasy nowadays is pound for pound fairly easily done with Bretonia. In all honesty, pick 'em if you like 'em. It is on some level cool, because for as much shit as I was giving them for being generic and bland knights are cool. There's a reason every 5-year-old wants to be a knight and not a Landsknecht. I mean, for God's sakes, just trying to say that word is difficult.
Landsknechts are cool though.
The other army GW.
Okay, other thing. Wait, hang on.
Table.
So what he just said, Landsknechts. I was thinking about this before, right? The guys that were from the first batch from the Imperial, or from the Imperial, not the Imperium, but the Imperial Army, right? In the first picture, I saw the guys with the floppy hats and the Zweihanders, and I'm like, that's the, and I couldn't think of the name, right? And because the reason why is in Age of Empires 3, I called them Landerschnacks. Or Landerschnecks or something like that, but it's Landschneck. So yeah, that's what I couldn't think of the name, so I'm glad he at least said it.
Top, despite already having a direct hand in reworking them for Total War. Did you know there's a fully fleshed out Cathayan army book for GW developed? You can't have it because funds not allowed. This is a shame because Cathay is awesome. Dragons are also awesome. Cathay agrees because they're ruled by immortal dragons who the Cathayans follow at every whim. Fantasy
cool.
China is a magical place and one of the few places in the entire planet that might not be a terrible one to live in. Every now and again it does what actual China used to do and implodes, and sure, those ruling dragons get along like all siblings do, i.e. barely at all, but in day-to-day life, not a bad place. And it always comes back together after imploding, usually after Mommy and Daddy Dragon come back to kick everyone's heads in till
I just see all the comments about Landerschnecks, or Landschnecks. Their peak masculinity. I remember them in Age 3, I think they were mercenaries. So I think you could get them with anyone. I remembered if I played the Dutch, because I played a really mean game of the Dutch, where I would work with the banking systems, right? But I would just buy mercenaries out the ass. And I remember I would just have an army of these little bastards running through the fields.
they start behaving again. It is, like I said, just fantasy medieval China. But that is a compliment. You know those terracotta soldiers? What if they were animated by magic and also 100 feet tall? Are you a 40k fan? Imagine if the Primarchs weren't utter morons and failures almost to a man, because that's Cathay. Again, for reasons I will never understand, we don't have them yet in tabletop. But Total War does, and by God is it fun to play as Cathay. The Silk Road was prosperous in real life, and it's prosperous in Warhammer, so if/when they finally come out, prepare to show the world why China was for a good 1,000 years the most prosperous country on the planet. It's even better here, because this Great Wall has magical dragon ladies guarding it. Oh, Cathay is also near the countries of Nippon, Ind, and Koresh. Nippon is Japan,
Yeah, obviously.
Ind is India, and Koresh is Southeast Asia. I'm not giving them their own spots because no one cares about them, and I can't bring myself to either.
Damn.
That's it for the non-chaotic living humans, but that doesn't mean we're done talking about humans. The next few ones just don't have a heartbeat.
What?
Or skin.
Oh.
These are the bad guys when chaos has taken a break. Imagine Dracula, if you
Okay.
will. Now imagine Dracula if he had a 100,000 strong army of zombies, skeletons, lesser vampires, and pretty much anything else that you could find at a Spirit Halloween. The total history of the vampires stretches back thousands of years, but for the purposes of this video...
Cathay's leadership is basically if Big E wasn't a terrible parent and ruler, had a wife as just powerful as he is, and his kids are just loyal and competent. Also, they're all dragons. Thank you, Warboss.
We're only going to go back a few hundred. We go to a fella named Vlad von Karstein, because if you haven't caught on yet, this setting is allergic to subtlety. He showed up to the very on-the-nose empire province of Sylvania, which was a horrible place to live. It was covered in swamps, the people were dumb and afraid of scary monsters, and because this setting is what it is, they weren't even wrong to be so. When a peasant in real life says the witch made their family ill with the plague, it's baseless superstition. When a peasant in Warhammer says that, there's a good chance they're right. When a Sylvanian peasant says that, they are right. Vlad shows up to this province, marries the daughter of the ruling noble to become its next ruler, and despite being a blood-sucking vampire, this place sucked so hard it was a marked improvement. Even better, him and his wife Isabella actually loved each other. They had vampire kids like Conrad von Karstein, who was insane and liked to twist the heads off of peasants, and Manfred von Karstein, who was the worst. Of course, this wouldn't be Warhammer if everyone was just nice and peaceful.
You know, Vankery's had a field day with the scripting for that, where he's just like, yeah, this guy ripped off the heads of peasants, and this one's the worst.
So one day Vlad had a brilliant idea. What if he was the emperor? He could live forever and usher in an eternal age of prosperity, mostly for vampires, but for some of the people too. So he tried to become the emperor. At gunpoint. Zombie point more like, but 100,000 zombies is a lot more effective than most Renaissance age guns were.
Yeah, valid.
He failed, but the damage was done. Him, his wife, and their children spread vampirism across the empire. Now Sylvania is barely even considered a part of it, and everyone does their best to ignore it. This is probably a bad move, because every few decades some vampire likes to try their hand at raising a massive undead army to take over the empire with. They all fail, but they're very murderous. Them failing means the empire's population only drops by 20% instead of 100%. Just watch the first episode of Castlevania if you somehow haven't, for what it's like when the midnight aristocracy goes to war.
Conrad von Karstein put his mortal mother on trial for giving birth to him without his consent. Okay.
There's a lot of vampires to choose from, though, to get your specific undead needs satisfied. The von Karsteins are the classic vampires, who want to suck your blood and rule over the night. The Lamians are a vampire KGB, with spy networks in pretty much every place on the planet.
That's kinda cool.
Except Lustria, probably. The lizards don't take kindly to that sort of thing. The Strigoi are what happens if your average Florida resident became a vampire, the Necrox are evil wizards, and the Blood Dragons are a heavy metal...
Wait. Isn't Strigoi just like a Romanian vampire? Like, isn't that like literally what like the Romanians call vampires? Like, it's not even like it's like that's one of those things that are on the nose. The only reason I even know that, like the only reason I even know Strigoi is because of that series on like Amazon Video or something like that, The Strain. Like, have you guys have ever seen The Strain before? They just refer to the vampires as the Strigoi. That's a thing? Yeah. Did you know Manfred was meant to be an empath? Oh my god.
album cover. If you thought it was kick-ass when Dracula sent the forces of hell to wreak havoc on the living, you'll love the vampire counts. But I did mention that some of the undead don't have skin, and vampires usually have that at least. For those fellas, we need to go further south. Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt. You now understand the basics of the Tomb King.
Okay, all right. Well, before we even continue on this one, hang on. Manfred is the most hated character in fantasy because he killed the wizard that was trying to stop the end of the world. Of course, thank you.
Once upon a time, thousands of years in the past, the lands of Nehekara were prosperous. They had regular contact with their gods, magical constructs to defend themselves with, and when they had a good king like Setra, they would sometimes go on to conquer half the world. Then a fella named Nagash was born. He's awful. This man was a monster through and through. He's really smart, though. Smart enough to capture dark elves and force them to teach him dark magic, which usually humans can't do. Smart enough to invent necromancy with what he learned. Smart enough to overthrow his brother, the king, and take over most of the land with his undead forces. And he's also quite powerful with his magic. He was eventually overthrown and cast into the desert where he died, but he invented necromancy. Death is a suggestion for him. Such is his power. When he inevitably came back, he discovered someone had stolen his research notes and used them to make vampires. He made those vampires his generals, and no, they didn't have a choice in the matter, and then decided ruling just Nehekara with undead wasn't enough. So he formed a plan to kill everyone in the region at once, resurrect every corpse on the planet, and take over the world with his World War Z undead army. Part 1 of the plan went off without a hitch. It was only through the intervention of the Skaven, who I promise you will love, and the last living dude in the region, which kept most of Part 2 from happening. Then everyone in Nehekara promptly stood back up, realized their hearts were no longer beating, but they were still standing, and things got messy. Imagine Game of Thrones before it became—
Are they just like ancient Egyptian Necrons? It just I know they're not literally. They just literally strike me as like ancient Egyptian Necron vibes. I kind of love them.
Horrible, with all the political fighting over who gets to be king. Now imagine Game of Thrones if every single person who was ever the rightful king was now alive at the same time fighting over what was their throne. Not they believed it to be their throne, or they wanted it to be their throne, it was the throne they sat on once upon a time. And also they can respawn. And also, most common people were mindless undead skeletons who had the flesh flayed from their bones with the desert winds and could only follow basic orders, like kill that guy who thinks he's the real king. This does not a stable nation make. Luckily, the priest woke up that Cetra guy, who cockslapped everyone until they started behaving again. Now the Tomb Kings no longer have skin, have no clear path to achieve immortal bodies to feel with again that they so crave, and no longer have the backing of their very gods. Fortunately for them, death is more of a suggestion. They can still use magic, even if not quite as good as it was when the gods were helping, and they now have eternity to do whatever they want, as long as it doesn't involve some sort of physical sensation. Sometimes they still fight amongst each other, sometimes they spend their newfound immortality pursuing whatever hobbies they want, and sometimes they sail all the way from Egypt to Sweden and burn half of it to the ground because someone stole their hat. And on the rarest of occasions, a tomb queen will tell a strapping young lad that if they still had functional genitals, she'd fuck him so hard the experience would kill him. They're very fun. They're true neutral to the core. Some of them want conquest, some of them just want to find new hobbies, some hate the living out of jealousy, some don't care either way as long as they serve, and some go out of their way to find human members to recruit for their court because it reminds them of what they've lost. If you can think of a motivation, there's a Tomb King that has it. It's a very simple thing to know if the Tomb Kings are for you or not. Do you like the Mummy? Do you like ancient Egypt? Have you ever wondered what it'd be like if the Sphinx came to life and started crushing people like Godzilla?
I kind of love
Tomb
them.
Kings are perfect for you then.
I
And
kind
hey,
of
look
love
at that.
them.
They're the other starter faction for the old world. Now you can get into fantasy proper without people like me dismissively calling you a horse molester. So now we can leave this region of the world and
That sounds
engage
great.
humanity.
We don't
and
need
I have
horse
forgotten
molesters.
4 human nations that deserve at least a little bit of credit. Shit. Tylea is Italy during medieval/Renaissance times, so it's thousands of city-states smushed into one country. It's right next to the Skaven capital. There are worse places to live. Estalia is Spain without the colonial empire.
We've gone from Age of Mythology music to Terraria music. I just need to address that we have gone from Age of Mythology to Terraria. They're Necrons, but less subtle. I'm here for it. Thank you again.
Both of these places say they're the first civilized nation in the old world, which the Empire disputes.
Oh, man. A critical detail of the Tomb Kings is that their soldiers are raised voluntarily based on oaths. So there's an actual person inside that skeleton, however much reduced. I see. Very cool. Very cool. I like them. I like them.
Border princes are the land of whatever the hell you want it to be. It is an excuse to make your own homebrew army, and they fight orcs more than anything. Most of the people there are either fleeing from the Empire, leaving the Empire in a futile attempt to make it big, and petty nobles. Araby is exactly what you think it is. Turn Aladdin into a wargame faction, but only a background faction. And if you think that's me being dismissive of it, do please read about Sultan Jafar's military campaign against the old world. It's actually got advanced medicine, science, and magical practices and theories, but I can guarantee the only thing you're going to remember about this place is Sultan Jafar.
Elves!
We're going to start by clumping all the elves together, because their backstories are all very interconnected. Don't worry, they'll each get their own time to shine. Once upon a time, there were just elves. The first species created by the old ones to fight chaos, they were made to be elves. Arrogant, long-lived, and short of the Slann, they're the best wizards around. Then chaos descended, the old ones pissed off, and the elves had no idea what the hell to do. Eventually, a cool elf named Kalidor made a magical vortex, the chief cool elf Anarion grabbed a cursed sword that killed a whole lot of demons, and then everything cooled down a bit. Anarion disappeared, but they elected a new king, so all was okay. His children with his first wife even showed back up to be a bloodline of legendary heroes, though they're also cursed because of that sword. Then an Aryans' second wife told their son Malekith that he should be king, convinced him with her boobs because family trees can be shaped like Christmas wreaths if you don't mind being a freak.
I'm sorry, what?
And a civil war broke out.
What
Malekith
Oedipus?
walked into a sacred fire to prove his worth, whereupon their chief god lit him on fire. Him and his mother kept trying to take over the home continent of Ulthuan. They nearly unmade it when they realized they couldn't, and then the newly formed Dark Elves were forced off of it to go live in Canada. The High Elves, those who stayed behind, once again got to rebuild the shattered remnants of their home.
How is it that the Dark Elves in Warhammer 40k are like the coolest faction? Objectively, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say that they're the coolest faction, right? Jakari are amazing. But the fantasy ones are just a bunch of incestuous Canadians. How the hell are Dark Elves in fantasy just incestuous Canadians? How do you make that leap from skin-flaying IKEA salespeople to incestual Canadians or incestuous Canadians?
At least they still had their firm friendship with the dwarfs. That's a good thing. Oh, wait, that got ruined too. But don't feel too bad. The High Elf King ruined that one for them himself by being the worst. That one wasn't an unfortunate tragedy. It was a self-imposed unfortunate tragedy. The dwarfs and the High Elves fought Fantasy World War I, and it was pretty miserable for everyone involved. Picking a victor is sort of meaningless because both groups were pretty thoroughly wrecked by the event, and the High Elves had to return home when the Dark Elves began the first of many invasion attempts to retake Ulthuan. Some High Elves didn't go home and sheltered in a magical forest called Athel Loren instead. Now we have our third group of elves, the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves are the easiest of the subgroups to explain. They sit in their magical forest and are insane. Sometimes people walk into the magical forest. It's safe to assume that unless stated otherwise, they do not come back out of the magical forest. Sometimes even if you come out of the magical forest, you find that 1,000 years have passed since you entered, and every single one of those years catches up with you as you age to dust within minutes. Aside from that though, your first instinct might be that these are stupid, uninspired, lame D&D Wood Elves who love nature and harmony and trees. And in fairness, they do love all those things. It's just that these trees are 50 feet tall, mobile, have a craving for the suffering of mankind, and the Wood Elves will invite peasants to feasts to fatten them up for the forest spirits. They don't give a rat's ass about the outside world aside from how it might affect their perfect little lives inside the forest. There are a few scattered enclaves of them across the world that are
Fun fact, the chief god of the Elven Pantheon is so powerful that he came back from getting killed Khorne and made them decree that chaos also follow. Damn.
Bit friendlier, but the general motivation of the Wood Elves is getting other people to get the hell off of their lawn. And when the lawn can come to life and devour you alive, it's a pretty easy task to do that. They also gaslight the Bretonnians into thinking their goddess isn't an elf one, although as it turns out later on, the extent of the elven gaslighting goes even further beyond their understanding. They're led by the avatars of two of the elf gods, naturally the ones that are focused on nature, because Wood Elf. The king likes to rampage across Bretonnia every now and again for funsies, and the queen sometimes says don't do that, sometimes doesn't care, and sometimes encourages it.
Let me go and check real quick. Yours with the baby, but let me go check. I'll be right back. Hold on for 1 second. What kind of torture are you putting this baby? Yeah, sure. She was crying. I wanted to come check, make sure everything's okay. Here you go. Love you. Right, love you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Yeah, so all that was BB is having the most horrendous thing in the world happen to her. The most horrendous thing. She's getting her diaper changed. I know. Who'd have thought? She's getting her diaper changed. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the audacity? The Star Child demands worship. She was just she just woke up, so she's kinky, and she's getting her diaper changed. Return to the forest. Yes, indeed, indeed. All right, back to the video.
when she's in a feisty mood. They're not my thing, truth be told, but I can respect the idea of wanting to be left alone for all eternity. So if you too cringe inside a little bit whenever you get a text message or a Discord DM, these guys might be for you. The High Elves are the ones that stayed on Ulthuan and remained much the same throughout. And like I said, the old ones sure as hell made them to be elves. Long-lived, magical, arrogant, and because they live for thousands of years, they're real good at what they do. Some of their swordsmen have been practicing for so long that they take into account the weight of their eyelashes when they swing.
What?
They're not beating that. And sure enough, the history of the High Elves is the history of them sailing out from their homeland to go stop most of the problems the world faces. They taught humanity how to use magic properly, they keep excess magic from saturating the world, and they have a habit of showing up just as they're needed to stop things from getting completely out of hand. There's a High Elf who destroyed orc warbands that have been rampaging since the dawn of time and was so good at it that he gave the entire elven race a reputation amongst the greenskins for being good fighters. All of this because a fat goblin burned down his house. And of course, Teclis, my beloved. Is there a 10,000 strong army of orcs, dark elves, or worse bearing down on you? Well, with a wave of his staff and a flick of his wrist, there is now a new crater. He's a real cool guy like that, and he's not even that arrogant. The flip side to balance this glazing
they just seem like they're
they do actually have
they seem so
weaknesses to go
overpowered.
along with all that. They reproduce slowly, and in a wargame setting, that's the mark of death. Every death in battle is a hindrance, although at least compared to 40k, they aren't outright dying. They're on the watch list for being endangered rather than being endangered outright.
Gotcha.
And magic being so innate to them means that when something with it goes wrong, they feel it and are affected by it more acutely than most. Like when their magical queen is sad. Their entire homeland's climate is tied to her emotions, and like any living being that isn't a psychopath, she is sad when a great amount of her people die. So when Malekith decides today is as good a day as any to get 1 million people killed trying to retake his homeland again, it really sucks to live in the same country as her. They're also physically frail, which isn't the biggest weakness in the world, but you'll definitely notice it when an orc is bearing down on them. They've also got a bit of a species-wide depression thing going on too. When you live functionally forever, you get a long time to get a real feel for what the world is like. And
Warhammer in general seems to have the ongoing problem of depression in a lot of different avenues. Like you have all the Primarchs in 40k are dealing with like space depression. And you got these guys dealing with depression. It's just kind of everywhere.
Turns out, this world kind of sucks. They just don't have time to recuperate from any of their constant losses. The world is in danger, the High Elves sail out to fix the issue, and then the world is immediately in danger again. Add on to that some more standard elven weaknesses, like their old age, meaning they don't always adapt to new things well, and you've got a race that has a bit of a deadline attached to it. Mankind is inventing guns, tanks, and more, and the elves think the bow and arrow remains the height of warfare. To their credit, though, they're damn good with that bow and arrow, especially when it's a magical lightsaber bow and arrow.
Oh.
And dragons. The High Elves are best friends of almost every dragon that isn't from Cathay.
Jesus.
Dragons are scary in a fight, and let's be honest with ourselves. If a dragon declared your hometown to be the best thing
you've got
ever
Jedi,
and made sure to
Targaryen
always visit
elves.
and help out when it was in trouble, you'd have an ego the size of Mount Everest too. Overall, if you like elves, you'll like these guys. Even if you don't like elves or only associate Warhammer's elves with the Eldar, the High Elves' ability to actually put their money where their mouth is might win you over. And if nothing else, there's an elf character named Aletha Nar who skins dark elves alive because he just hates them that much, and is overall Michael Myers if he had pointy ears and special forces training. Hard to get more unelven than that guy. Speaking of ego, though,
Dark elves, okay.
take the stereotypical elven arrogance, or if you're not a big fan of the race.
All right. So they're gonna be better. Are they gonna be as cool as my favorites? Are they gonna be as cool as Drakari, or are they gonna just be incestuous Canadians?
Elven racism. Now jack it up to the logical extreme endpoint of the concept so that they don't only think they're the best, they think of all other races as vermin that should either serve them as slaves, be hunted for sport, or outright eradicated. Welcome to Nagaroth, friends. It only goes downhill from there. Warhammer North America sucks. It's home to the Dark Elves after they got kicked out of their old home, and the entire thing is either a frozen hellhole, a desert hellhole, or a frozen hellhole bordering actual hell. There's something called the Altar of Ultimate Darkness inside of this place. Do you think anyone that lives here is gonna be nice? Sure enough, the Dark Elves aren't nice. There used to be some human tribes that lived in Nagaroth, and then the Dark Elves killed or enslaved them all. They have cities built into mountains they use as ships to raid and enslave others, they kidnapped High Elf children to raise as Dark Elves, and the entire society looks like what would happen if every single Decepticon was Starscream. Murder and treachery are only illegal if you get caught, and if you're powerful enough, not even then. They're led by Malekith and his mother Marathi, the same two elves who formed the Dark Elves 10,000 years prior. Marathi is kind of just always awful, but but sometimes if you squint real hard, Malekith can almost sort of a little bit resemble a noble elf hero he once was. Then he does things like instituting the elven god of murder as the head of the Dark Elf pantheon, uses demons as auxiliaries when he invades Ulthuan, and starts the Warhammer Fantasy Triangle slave trade. In spite of failing to retake Ulthuan every time he tries, he's a damn powerful wizard and warrior both. He's just Darth Vader, actually. He's even got the suit of armor that helps keep him alive because he was severely burned. And who can forget his mommy issues? Although I don't think Anakin ever piped his mother,
pretty cool.
so a little bit different there. There is no height of cruelty that Dark Elves don't aspire to. Acting nice gets you killed because it clearly means you're weak. Admitting you're a bit tired or injured gets you killed because if you were strong, you wouldn't be injured, so clearly you're weak and someone else more fitting should take your spot. They don't have as many dragon allies, and the ones they do are corrupted by dark magic, so they just grab whatever monstrosity they can find in the Midwest and put it in chains until it's time for battle. Much like their cousins in space, if you find you're about to be captured by them, it's probably best to just off yourself. They may not have quite as exotic measures of torturing you, but they make up for it with a real go-getter attitude in the field of human rights violations. There's a holiday called Blood Night. The cult of the god of murder goes around and kidnaps people to murder. They steal elven girls to be trained as witch elves like them, and they throw elven boys in a cauldron of boiling blood. If they survive, they get trained as an assassin. I don't think a concrete statistic has ever been given, but you can assume that not many people survive this. If you like being edgy, either ironically or because you think suffering is inherently deep, you'll like the Druchii. I can already feel the viewer retention going down, though, from how long I've been talking about elves, so how about we move to their polar opposites? Elves are posh, regal, and always at least a little bit uptight. Dwarfs are brash, to the point, and consider sobriety a sin. While the elves of Warhammer have a few things that make them stand out a bit from the standard elf template, the dwarfs of Warhammer could fit in just about any setting with minimal issue. They like drinking, they like mining, they hate orcs, and getting them to compliment non-dwarf craftsmanship is like pulling teeth from an orc. They hate magic both because it's weird elf nonsense, and because when the old ones made the dwarfs, they made them so opposed to magic their mere presence makes it not work properly. They love mining and mountains because that's just what dwarfs love. They do have three things that make them stand out, though. First is that it's pronounced dwarfs, not dwarves. Second is that these dwarfs are industrious little fellas. They've discovered oil and how to use it, and with it make helicopters, trains, and more. While humanity
we're saying the F, not the V?
has galleons with cannons, and the elves have either magical dragon ships or city-sized slave ships, the dwarfs have ironclads, submarines, and aircraft carriers. They hate using them because no proper dwarf would ever be happy with anything but solid earth under their feet, but they have them. They're slow to change to the point that anything less than 500 years old gets...
In the end times, they retconned it so Malekith was worthy of being the Phoenix King. He just couldn't take the fire long enough. You could say the decision was undercooked.
You complained at if you suggest using it, but at least some of them understand that the 20-barreled artillery piece is nice to have even if their ancestors might not approve. The second is that these dwarfs are the embodiment of the word spite. They're bitter that the other races won't just conform to proper dwarf ways. They hate orcs and goblins for ruining their once great cities. They hate the elves for that war they got into thousands of years ago. A war that ultimately started, mind you, because the dwarf diplomat forcibly had his beard shaved. There were some other factors leading up to it, but that was the final straw. The average dwarf doesn't know about the lizardmen much, but they'd certainly hate them too if they knew the Slann were involved in shifting some mountain ranges around that destroyed a whole lot of dwarf holds. Have you ever wronged a dwarf? Into the book you go. The Great Book of Grudges, that is.
Wait, please tell me.
Every thing that has in some way wronged the dwarf race is put down in there.
Wait, they actually have a Book of Grudges? Okay, I normally hate dwarves. I love them. Strictly because I need a great Book of Grudges. Because my book is growing by the day. I love this. That is amazing. Imagine being so petty. You have generational hate. And you put it in the big book of grudges. Oh my God. I want a piece of merch. Like either a shirt or an actual book. It's just called My Great Big Book of Grudges. Oh my God. That is amazing.
Dwarf holds have their own personal ones for slight against them in particular. Some dwarfs have their own personal book. Even if they don't, they have photographic memory.
Oh, hold on one second.
If you wrong them, they'll remember.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. The book is written in blood to make it extra hardcore. Beautiful, I love that.
It doesn't even need to be on purpose. A human town once shorted the dwarfs 2 coins by accident in exchange for some construction work. The dwarfs sent an army and killed everyone in it. If this happens to you and you try to seek some sort of retribution for this insane idea of compensation they seem to have, you're going back in the book for any harm you might cause doing it. They will spend centuries and entire military campaigns fighting wars to right grudges, and naturally anything that happens to them during these campaigns leads to more grudges, which leads to them trying to right those grudges, which causes more grudges. You know that saying about digging 2 holes when you set out for revenge? 2 holes is not nearly enough for the Dowie. And who could forget the Slayers? Let's say you're a dwarf, and you committed...
They literally record every single slight against a dwarf kind in the book, no matter how tiny. There's grudge recorded against the Bretonian peasant for refusing to admit dwarf ale was superior to wine. I love it. I love it. That is my favorite thing from this entire video so far. I mean, the Tomb Kings are my favorite faction, but that Book of Grudges is absolutely just chef's kiss.
Some seriously dishonorable action. Maybe your negligence led to other dwarfs getting killed. Maybe you fled at the height of a battle. Or maybe you just lost a bit too much money on a bet or had your beard shaved against your will. In any of those cases, there's only one option available to you. Kill yourself. Take the Slayer Oath and die in battle. There's no redeeming yourself in any way but death. There's funerals held for those who take the Slayer Oath before they even leave to find something to kill them, because for all intents and purposes, they've died and the message just hasn't gone through to them yet. If you want some great books...
What is wrong with the dwarves in fantasy? Like, they sound like the most mental faction of anything Warhammer.
That explore Slayers, dwarfs in the Warhammer world, read Gotrek and Felix. Read Gotrek and Felix anyway. Do it. Now. While the dwarfs certainly have their work cut out for them, they've got some good stuff that makes them cool regardless. They can't use magic like wizards, so instead they grab it by the balls and hit it with a hammer until it works perfectly how they want it to with their runes. The longer their beards are, the more respected they are, and there's even a military unit called Longbeards. If their beard can touch the floor, they get equipped with some of the best armor dwarf money can buy. They've got the finest weapons in the setting, the finest armor in the setting, and while they may be slow as all hell, if they catch you, it's game over. If you like facial chair, hate change, and despise other people for being different, take a look at the dwarfs.
So basically, this is an entire faction of men who are 5'11". Like that's what this is coming off to me as, and I love that. I really do. I really think it's great that we have representation for young men who are 5'11". It's really needed. Called us the most mental faction in Warhammer. That's going in the book, yeah.
Imagine dwarfs without that silly grudge ideology. You've committed a wrong and have to make up for it, but you can right it without causing your own death. And what's more, you can properly use magic. Fireball and lightning and all those other lovely spells you can think of. Without the shackles of tradition or even their own biology holding them back, they can produce wonders of both magic and industry. Unfortunately, they replace stupid grudges with one of the most horrific slaver cultures around, and they forego tradition to worship actual demons and dark gods. And being able to use magic isn't necessarily a good thing, because it eventually turns them into stone statues. These are the Chaos Dwarfs, and they're horrifying in a way the more human followers of Chaos can only dream of being. Saying they take the best of the dwarfs is sort of overstating it, because the best of the dwarfs is their willingness to stand by both the letter and spirit of their word. They'll have your back no matter what. Plus, while their incredible stubbornness does hold them back from a lot of progress they can make and gets them into some stupid conflicts, it also means they're not only going to accomplish whatever they set out to do, but always stand by your side. If the dwarfs say they're going to help you, they're going to help you. And if a human, dwarf, and elf are all fighting together, the dwarf is going to be the last one to break. The Chaos Dwarves take these traits and have molded them in a way that is best suited to being an evil bastard. The craftsmanship of the dwarves makes weapons, yes, but also architectural wonders and genuine pieces of art so good it can make a man weep. The Chaos Dwarves make hell factories that are 2,000% efficient and make the most brutal weapons Chaos has to offer. They take the runic magic of the dwarves and use it to bind demons into their weapons and armor. The demons aren't happy with this, but the Chaos Dwarfs are still dwarfs. They're so good at what they do that more often than not, the demons are powerless once the dwarfs get their hands on them. They aren't numerous, and they aren't even terribly expansionist, but when the Chaos Dwarfs do go to war, there's nothing that can truly equal it. The finest weapons and armor just like the dwarfs, only now bolstered with the power of Hellspawn. They even have the closest thing to a nice chaos god to worship, which give them all sorts of benefits. Hashut. Sure, he's called the Father of Darkness and is the god of tyranny and is overall exactly as evil as you'd expect from that, but he doesn't screw the dwarfs over. They want power, he likes it when tyrants are in power, so in exchange for them using their dwarf talents to enslave others, he gives them power. The most commonly seen use of Chaos Dwarfs is as artillery crewmen for the Hell Cannon unit, as well as frequently
Are there
selling
screaming
Chaos
faces
Lord
inside of
weapons
it?
and armor. This is because of both their isolationist nature and because they don't really have an army.
Those are screaming faces inside of it. I'm pretty sure those are the Also, what did you send me, Lurk? Oh my God! Somebody made the Great Book of Grudges. Oh my God! I could get the Book of Grudges. Oh my God! Regular, add to throne. Okay. I'm putting the smaller of the two, because the other one's too expensive. Come on, load. It needs to load. Hold, please. Just add. Come on, add. I don't want to have to do this later. Just work right now. Just work. One try. One try, please. It doesn't want to work. Why can't you just work? Why does it have to suck? I just wanted it to work, man. Damn. Damn. It's fine. It's fine. I'll add it later.
They do have legacy rules for the old world, and they have had an army, unlike Cathay, but their status as properly playable is a bit all over the place. Still though, if you don't mind legacy rules and finding either old minis or third-party ones to use, you can feel the Chaos Dwarf army. So if you like the dwarfs but wish they were horrendous in every way possible, check out the Chaos Dwarfs. Just get used to people calling them chorfs. Not the most dignified nickname, that one.
What do you mean? It's just chorfs.
The
They're
ogres
cute.
were the last race the old ones made before pissing off. They're resistant to chaos, tough unlike the elves, capable of changing things up quickly unlike the dwarfs, and are as ambitious and fluid as mankind. Unfortunately, the older ones couldn't quite get them to stop eating everything in sight, and never properly finished them before they left, or their homelands for that matter. When chaos invaded, the ogres were left unfinished in this state, and many became nomadic after they ate everything in whatever their first homeland was. They also ate the ancestors of the modern-day giants, who were a whole lot smarter, wiser, and powerful than the inbred alcoholic morons that giants are in Warhammer today. Things were made worse for them when they decided to migrate into Cathay, because the Dragon Emperor dropped a meteor on their homeland and blew it up. Now they had nowhere to return to, were still really hungry, and that meteor made a big hole called the Great Maw. It's a big hole in the ground with teeth, and the ogres throw food and people into it to get magical powers.
What?
They also worship a volcano and drink its lava to get fire magic.
What?
Neither of the past two sentences were made up by me. I love this setting. They're vaguely based on Mongolia, but I don't think Genghis...
The Hell Cannon is demons that remolded into a cannon. It shoots souls-seeking ammo, but it needs to be chained down to prevent it running toward the enemy to sate its hunger for... Jesus.
Khan ever ate an entire city's population. Killed everyone in it, sure, but I don't think there was mass cannibalism. The ogres, though, do exactly that. Everything about them revolves around food. Their social hierarchy is in large part determined by how fat you are. They have a race of goblinoid slaves called Noblars they employ as equal parts pack mule, assistant chefs, and snacks. They go to war to eat other races' food and or the other races. One of the most common ways you'll see ogres around is as mercenaries, because while they are stupid, they're smart enough to realize being a mercenary means you can travel the world sampling all the food you can find, and you'll even get paid for the trouble. The gut is a sacred part of an ogre's body, to the point that oftentimes it's the only part of an ogre they keep protected with armor. That might sound stupid, but consider they're twice as tall, 4 times as wide, and 8 times as heavy as a normal person, and can reliably defeat demon invasions. The closest thing to an ogre's central government is Greece's Goldtooth's tribe that sets up toll booths on the trading routes between Cathay and the Old World. Aside from that, though, they can be literally anywhere. They're happy to sell their services to all races, and sometimes they can even become corrupted by chaos. Being resistant to chaos, corruption, and immune to it are different things, especially if they willingly join for one reason or another. Sometimes they even embrace the cultures of the places they go willingly. An ogre isn't exactly gonna fit in an imperial noble's party, but are you gonna tell the 9-foot-tall slab of muscle with a racial reputation for eating people that he's being a bit of a slob? No, you aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
And if someone does, everyone at your fancy dinner party now has some rather gruesome entertainment, while your ogre guest has dessert. The Chaos Demons are pretty similar between Fantasy and 40k. They're all servants/bits of a greater god. Sufficient concentrations of magic can allow them to show up, and when a wizard messes up their spell, they can manifest that way too. They want to tear down the mortal world and bring ruin to the realms of man, elf, and dwarf, all that good stuff you can expect of demons. The only real difference is how they came about. In 40k, all the Chaos Gods have birthdays. Slaanesh has the most concrete one, but the other ones at one point very much came into existence. Warped timey-wimey cop-out garbage means they've also always existed, but I don't care about that. In fantasy, they have always existed, though. They're just evil gods who exist to ruin stuff. It's how it works. Chaos came about when they broke through the portals on each of the planet's poles when the old ones overused them to ferry materials and magic to their burgeoning creations. Other than that, pretty much the same, if with a small bit more emphasis on their positive aspects. Only a small bit, though. Khorne still likes war, Nurgle still likes disease, Tzeentch still likes scheming, and Slaanesh still likes degeneracy. Same demon units, same greater demons, hell, most of the named demons are the same. Where they really shine and differentiate between settings isn't their followers. Let's get GW's least favorite child out of the way first.
Oh?
The Beastmen are a cross between beasts and men. Being born of chaos itself, the Dark Gods don't need to bribe them with gifts to ensure their worship. Unfortunately for them, this means the Beastmen rarely, if ever, get any gifts from the gods. They know they'll always have their worship, so they get the scraps the proper Chaos Warriors get. Given that one theory of how they came about is man and beast getting a bit too friendly with each other, I don't feel too bad for them. Don't let that fool you, though. While the nations of men consider them to be a nuisance for all but the most isolated towns, and the dwarves...
Yeah, I've heard Be'lakor being in both.
The Wood Elves know the true danger they represent. In the forest of the world, millions of them lurk, and when they go to war, entire swaths of the country are trampled underneath their hooves. They defile nature with their every step, and won't stop their savage crusade until the civilized peoples of the world exist in a constant state of being hunted by their bestial overlords. At least that's what we're told in between lore blurbs of them being butchered like the cattle they look like. For the love of God, at least the Eldar are powerful on the tabletop more often than not. The Beastmen usually suck on tabletop and in the lore. I'm trying to be a hype man for the factions here, but while I wasn't for Bretonnia because I hate them, I'm not for the Beastmen because I pity them. For what it's worth, though, they are incredibly dangerous to the average person in this setting. Villages at the frontier of almost every faction are regularly under assault by Beastmen raiders, and when they gather in force, they'll
How do you even get a Beastman that size? What the hell?
Since they're all part animal, they have incredibly sharp senses. If you get in a fight with one while you're traveling, it's already game over. You can probably take that one on, but the 20 or so more beelining it in your direction because they heard a fight is a different story. The Beastmen are a savage race to the point that things like intact walls drive them to frothing rage. What? Their hatred for civilization. All they do in their free time is get into brutal fights amongst each other, sometimes involving...
They must really hate Dorne. I know it's different universe or a different dimension, but like, the Dorne would be their antichrist. Like, oh my god, they hate walls.
Challenging another for a position in the hierarchy, but usually just to assert dominance or for fun. Hunt people, and drink. They do have some forms of worship for the Chaos Gods, and their shamans both help construct effigies and are actually revered by other beastmen as something above their common squabbling, but for the most part, they're every stereotype of barbarians squashed into one. Aside from those shamans, they have no desire to form their own culture, civilization, or cities. They just want to hunt like the beasts they are. The beastmen may be a bit of an acquired taste, but for what it's worth, I don't think I've ever seen people address beastmen players with anything but some measure of respect. While the beasts of chaos are no more, the OG beastmen of fantasy have returned to the tabletop. If you like the idea of being this savage force of nature that just wants to ruin, all the while being backed by the Dark Gods, the Beastmen might be for you. Just, don't expect to win all that often. Part of the respect Beastmen players get is for sticking with an army that Games Workshop seems to hold in utter contempt. I know I'm incredibly biased, but I do not care for the motivations of most of the traitor legions.
Beastmen hate the Empire the most because Sigmar ended their hunting spree against humanity. Oh, okay.
They strike me as like listening to a story about me and my siblings not getting along when we were kids, which I'm sure is at least partly intentional, but that's not the kind of motivation I want for why someone sold their soul to the forces of hell, at least not on a faction-wide level. By contrast, let's look at the Warriors of Chaos motivations for worshipping chaos. I'd say there's two blanket ones you can say. The reasonable one is that they live in the barren, icy lands of Norska. Aside from the southernmost regions, permafrost covers the whole land. No crops can be grown, and few animals are around to hunt. Because of their proximity to the North Pole, where the realm of chaos intersects with reality, a lot of those animals are heavily mutated, if not outright demonic. A lot of these people are also almost explicitly forsaken.
Fun fact, 2 out of 3 Beastmen legendary... 2 out of 3 Beastmen legendary lords in Total War are the direct enemies of literal gods. Morgar is a literal god who eats other gods. Huh.
Taken by Sigmar, as a lot of the ones who live there now are the descendants of the ones Sigmar forced out when he was forming the Empire. With all that in mind, I think it's at least understandable that these people would turn to the Chaos Gods for protection and worship. If the only option of worship is the guy who's all about plague, you might as well hope he's in a good mood and will keep the plague at bay in exchange for a few sacrificed Southerners. The other motivation, while less relatable, is also much more fun. Just wanting to be an evil, powerful overlord.
They just
Why
wanted
do you worship
to.
the
They just
dark
did it for the
gods?
love of the
Because
game.
they give you ultra-powerful cursed armor you can use to give them more sacrifices to gain more power with. Why do you slaughter in the name of the blood god and all the others? Because it's fun. Who gives a damn about morality? That orphanage made the mistake of being in front of you, so it obviously had to go. If the Blood Dragons are a heavy metal album cover, the Warriors of Chaos are every heavy metal album cover combined into one. Kill for the dark gods at every possible moment. Let
That
loose
armor's
your
sick,
darkest desires onto the world, because you have the explicit backing of the
Welcome,
powers that
Academy.
be to do so. The Norskins who live in the frozen north will make pilgrimages to the northern pole and realm of chaos to become true warriors of darkness. If they're unlucky or unworthy,
Ew.
they'll turn into chaos spawn or demon food. If they're lucky or worthy enough, they'll become mighty chaos lords. And if they're really lucky and get just the right amount of attention from their gods, they can become demon princes of chaos, immortal beings with the blessings of the gods themselves to pillage across the world in their name. Look at this dude. He has 4 weapons visible alone, and his armor looks like he just grabbed every single
gonna
bit of
hiccup from
scrap
laughing
metal
at this
around
guy.
and had a demon turn it into something almost coherent to look at. If you want to play the bad guys who revel in being bad guys for the sake of it, the Warriors of Chaos have no equal. But believe it or not, these guys aren't the evilest faction.
Skaven! Okay, I'm
love
ready
the
to learn.
Skaven.
I'm ready to learn.
Take a rat, make it person-sized, walk on 2 legs, and fill it with hate. Now let them outnumber everyone else combined by a factor of 10, give them energy weapons and the foulest of magics, and a desire to see everyone else brought low before them. With that, you have the Skaven, and they are truly glorious. Unlike the Chaos Gods,
Rats.
their god of the Horned Rat has absolutely no positives.
the
His own little
hiccups.
territory in the realm of chaos is the realm of ruin. It sucks, and in there is a greater demon of his for every single Skaven, all of whom also suck. With numbers and power like they have, there's only one reason the Skaven
damn
haven't
it, I
already
can't
taken
laugh.
over the world. The thing their god and race embodies more than anything else is the word asshole. They hate the other races for sure. They're petty and spiteful enough that even though they don't have any uses for gold, they mine it solely because it inconveniences everyone else.
Really?
But they hate each other only a fraction of a fraction less than they hate everyone else. They're also all power-hungry morons who are convinced that if they were in charge, they could lead Skavendom to victory, and of course themselves to a life of luxury and power. So one will have a plan to defeat a dwarf army, and then all his underlings immediately begin sabotaging each other to look good for the commander, sabotaging the commander to take his place, and then sabotaging themselves because they're just stupid. They eat each other for food, the Skaven at the top bully the ones below them, and this lovely form of Reaganomics trickles all the way down to the common clan rat bullying Skaven slaves because the rat above him bullied him because the rat above him bullied him. Of course, none
They
of this
all have a
matters in terms of
complex,
defeating
no!
them. For one, they're rat people. There's a reason the only human-inhabited place on Earth that doesn't have rats is Alberta. The Skaven literally breed like rats because they are. In the time it takes you to kill one, they've already given birth to another 1,000.
Oh
In
my
a chapter
God!
from a Skaven character's point of view, the commanding wizard of the Skaven army remarked it was impressive how they managed to pull off a victory despite only outnumbering the enemy 4-1. When a 4-1 ratio is what they consider to be a pretty even fight, you can rest easy, knowing there's a lot of rats under your feet. Or don't rest easy. I wouldn't. And of course their technology. It's the best in the world. They have nuclear weapons. They burrow under the ground and put them under people or places they don't like, which is everywhere and everyone.
Why
The
do I
only
have hiccups
places
right
the
now?
Skaven don't have some presence on is Ulthuan, the High Elf home, and Athelloren, the Wood Elf home. They can't get to Ulthuan because it's a floating island continent that doesn't touch the sea floor. There's no ground for them to dig up under through. They can't get to
They wanna
Athelloren,
nuke it?
meanwhile, because the ground itself is alive and actively hates them for trespassing. They'll send thousands of their slaves and basic soldiers to death in order to slightly soften up the enemy defenses. As far as the Council of 13 that rules Skavendom is concerned, 1,000 slave rats in exchange for the enemy losing a couple rockets and cannonballs is a positive trade. This is before they start firing at you with magically powered Gatling guns,
This is
throwing
insane.
poison gas at you, and lighting you on fire with magically powered flamethrowers. Every single one of those things has the potential to break and kill the operators because the magic rocks powering it are incredibly unstable, and it just doesn't matter to the Skaven. Other Skaven killed are other potential
such
rivals
assholes,
killed,
I
and
love
everyone else
them.
they kill is one less obstacle to Skaven domination over the world. That magical substance they use to power their weapons is a rock called Warpstone, by the way, and the Skaven covet it above all else. They use it to power pretty much
Sorry if the
everything
hiccups
that
are
isn't
annoying.
manually powered by treadmills of slave rats. Other uses for it include using it to boost their magical strength, boost their physical strength, as food, and as a cocaine equivalent. Everyone else that touches the stuff either mutates or dies on the spot, and for the Skaven it's nose candy. If they sound goofy, it's because they are, but consider what it's like on the other side of a Skaven invasion. You're walking down the street, things have been a bit rough with the goings-on in the town, but nothing that can't be explained by natural causes. Then all you hear is explosions, the sounds of the most horrifying mutated monstrosities ever conceived, and right as you turn the corner, all you see is dozens of beady red eyes staring at you with full intent to kill and eat you.
Oh no!
And that's if you're lucky. On the other end of things, the Skaven are horrifying. There's a lot more about the Skaven I could say, but here's a quick and easy way to know if you like them. If you despise everything about everyone around you, know for a fact you should be in charge of everyone because you're clearly right, and altruism makes you want to curl up and die, you'll like the Skaven. Or alternatively, if you want to rock up to a fantasy setting with machine guns, magical artillery, and nuclear bombs, they're for you too. And I believe that is every major fantasy
love them!
faction,
Oh my god!
and a lot of the minor ones. If you're new to fantasy, I hope this was a
They're so
decently
good they gave me
informative
the
primer.
hiccups!
If you aren't, I hope something in here was funny. Thank you as always to my wonderful channel members.
Oh
you
my
are the
god,
Warhammer
we love
Fantasy
Pancreas
to my
here.
Warhammer.
That was
the backbone
fantastic.
of everything that has come before and since. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to subscribe or become a member. Either way, thank you for watching and take care out there. There's a whole faction of vampire pirates I didn't really talk about. For the overall lore, they're just not important, but one of them has the largest navy in the world. That's what Warhammer Fantasy considers forgettable. A pirate vampire with the largest navy in the world. Total War only for the most part, but hey, it's pretty cool to play in that.
That sounds sick! Oh my god! Wait.
Hey, you're finally awake.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Oh my god.
Warhammer has
No, why are we out? Okay, well, we have a friendly little picture of our lovely Erebus now. Oh my god, the hiccups are gonna kill me. Okay. Put that down for a second. Let's put on the music. I need to get something to drink to get rid of these hiccups because I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. Not gonna lie though. I'm giving the video that just came up now to Penn because I now need to watch this video because it's literally called the Skaven Great Clans, and that that's Volca. Wait, that was Volca? Wait, really? I literally did it really quickly. Who's Volca? I'm gonna assume fantasy. Hold on, Volca. Looking up Volca now. Looking up Volca. Warhammer. Not Vulcan. Oh, you mean okay. Never mind. I was really confused for a second. You guys, you literally got me with my own joke because you did a typo. You got me with a typo. I'm like, is this a fantasy character that I don't know? Like, like what are we talking about? Yeah, Vulcan's Erebus stole the N. Okay, I have to give this video to Penn, hang on. And then after I give it to Penn, I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. Oh my god, that was fantastic. That was actually fantastic. I love the Skaven, holy crap. I like the Tomb Kings a lot, but the Skaven are fucking hilarious. The Skaven are actually hilarious. The Vampire Pirate's also schizophrenic after he got cursed. See, that's amazing. That's amazing, I love that. All right, hold on. You know what? We'll do this. We'll put my feet up too. Okay, we'll just be right back. Be right back. You guys behave. Be normal. It's okay. I'm often confused with the word bearer. All right, give me 1 second. Yeah, I know. I have that in the queue now, but we have a list of other videos for today. But I'm definitely gonna watch the Skaven video. Give me 1 second. I'll be back in a minute. Just behave. Just behave. Okay, that's all you gotta do. If you can behave, I'll be proud of you. Okay? Oh my god, I'm dying. Let me do this. Alright, be right back, okay? You guys be normal. I'll be right back. I am back, and I have a Fig Newton with me, or a Fig bar, because Fig Newton I think is copyrighted, right? So I have a nondescript Fig bar. There's nothing on my throat. Don't go there. These are so good. I still have the hiccups though, and you'll also hear BB in the background screaming because she is because Yura's trying to put her to sleep. She is not having it. She's like, how dare you try to put me to sleep? Mother, I will not tolerate this. Man, I hate hiccups so much. Holy crap. They're funny for a minute, but like, you should check out the origins of the Skaven video. It will send chills down your spine. I absolutely will. I like them a lot. I like them a lot. They're really funny. Scatter flee back to the tunnels with the nuclear warheads, yes. The nuking of Moon Morrisleep is actually what brought the city of Mordheim and gave us the skirmish version of fantasy. Well, I don't know anything about fantasy aside from the factions now. So you gotta bear with me on that one. Okay. Yeah, hiccups are not fun. No, they're not. It's okay though. We can live with that. Let me take a quick second. Let me go look at the current community poll for the poster. So there has been 630 votes. 45% of the votes are Drakari Archon. 31% Sisters of Battle Tetra. 12% more Mother Melanie. 11% Nurse Joy. Very cool. Alright, let's get into the next video. Whew. Hiccups are finally gone, I think. Okay. Love our goofy cracker. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah. The end time Skaven basically solo killed the most countries out of any antagonistic force. That's amazing. I voted so quickly for the Drakari option. I actually thought the Melanie one was going to win because if you go through all of my community posts, whenever I post artwork when I go live, right? And I've posted Drakari art before, I've posted Sisters of Battle art before, and I've posted Melanie art before. I have posted the same Melanie art twice, and it has done the best as far as interaction goes compared to anything else that I have had. The Melanie art has like almost like a 40% increase of likes compared to any of the other pieces of artwork I've gotten. So I was pretty sure it was going to win. Yeah, I'm totally not against looking at the what's it called? The Thankful video. How's your in the new edition doing? Doing really well. Just new edition's screaming right now. There's also a canon Skaven Ninja clan. No, there's not. No, there's. You're trolling me. I'm in fantasy? Yeah, no, that's why. Well, Melanie's Pokemon too. I mean, the Nurse Joy one is an old meme with the channel, so. Yeah, no, look, right? YouTube is really feral for the Melanie art. Like, really, really feral for the Melanie art. But favorite factions of fantasy. Skaven, definitely. Skaven are just really funny. I like the Tomb Kings. And I like the regular dwarfs, which is a surprise to me because I like the big Book of Grudges. The Book of Grudges literally makes me happy. Like, it makes me so happy. Because the day I get that, if I ever get the Book of Grudges, like my own, I will probably fill up half the book, like just with the backlog of grudges I have. Because I got a lot of them. How are the Furby babies doing, Tetra? Dawn is somewhere, don't know where she is. Shortcake is somewhere, don't know where she is, and Magnus is just sleeping. Book of Grudges is his own faction. If any other faction had the Book of Grudges, I would like it. That faction would instantly be my favorite. The fact that it was the dwarves is kind of sad because I can't stand dwarves. Like in the fantasy setting, I think that they're so boring and cliche. I know all fantasy tropes are cliche, but dwarfs are just kind of like, I don't know. The only interpretation of dwarfs I've ever liked is Elder Scrolls. And it being the Dwemer. The Dwemer are like the one excuse of dwarven culture that I actually liked. Every other dwarven culture I think is kind of like, kind of mid. They're just angry little drunks. They're just angry little British football hooligans that are 5'11". Like that's basically what dwarves are in like every culture. Black Templars are gonna take up half the book? Nah. Black Templars are kind of like put it this way. The people who are Black Templar fans that give me crap in the comment section are a blip in the radar. You go into the Hall of Shame and then I make it so you can never like interact with the channel again. So like there's probably a bunch of them who are still writing comments and none of us could ever see them. It's kind of funny. Those people don't go into the Book of Grudges because they're not relevant enough. Can't stand dwarves into the book. The Dwemer are elves, though. Yes, but they're dwarven elves. They're dwarven-influenced elves in Elden Ring. Or not Elden Ring, Elder Scrolls. Called us mid into the book. I love the Elder Scrolls. Because, like, the logic of Dwemer is that dwarfs are just a type of elves that ended up being a bit different. Can't stand dwarves. That's going in the book. Keep going, Ma. We're putting all this in the book. This is going straight into the book of my 5'11". Look, it's okay that you're 5'11". We love our short kings. I like the Sons of Doran though. Okay, you're allowed to. You're allowed to. You're allowed to like anything that you like. Elder Ring, Elden Scrolls, dude, I do that so much. It's terrible. All right. Let's get into. I'm feral for the Elder Scrolls. Me too. I don't think that they'll do well on YouTube. Otherwise, I would do it, because I know most of it. Like, I know most Elder Scrolls lore. Like, I know a lot of it. Like, I've watched way too many lore videos on it. But I don't think it would perform. I don't think it would perform. I've also played way too many too many of the Elder Scroll games, and I've played them for way too many hours. I think I had like 900 hours in Oblivion. I've played through Skyrim more times than I can count. I solo grinded to max level in ESO. Morrowind, I was never really a big fan of, and Daggerfall, I think, is pretty cool, but it's a little bit overrated. And I never played Elder Scrolls Arena. Lusty Argonian Maid. I have read Lusty Argonian Maid to my Twitch chat with my 3DO ASMR mic. I have read all of the Lusty Argonian Maid books to my Twitch chat with excruciating detail. I'm kind of a fan of the Elder Scrolls lore, but I think I'm hiding it pretty well. You know what you are? You are definitely. I played Oblivion for most of my high school years. You know what? Fair. I still play Skyrim. If I had the time, I would probably be playing. Well, okay. So I'll talk about the Morrowind thing before we get into the next video. But I've been. If I had time, I'd be playing the Oblivion remake because I'm like 25 hours into it and I want to keep playing it because it's really fun. The thing is, the reason why I'm not a fan of Morrowind is not because the game is bad. It's because the game is dated, right? So Oblivion is ancient by game standards now too. Oblivion, you could go and pick up old Oblivion and still enjoy the experience because it doesn't feel bad. Like, it aged pretty well, despite the graphics and everything being terrible. The gameplay aged pretty well. Morrowind's at that point where it's far enough back where unless it gets remastered with modern controls, the game feels like ass. So the only time that you're going to be saying Morrowind is really good is when you're looking through it through nostalgia lenses. And people don't like to hear that. I'm not saying the game's inherently bad. I'm just saying it aged poorly compared to Oblivion. Oblivion aged better. I know it was more recent too, but Oblivion did age a lot better. There's a reason why Oblivion got a remaster before Morrowind. Morrowind was my game every day after school for all of middle school. I didn't get Oblivion until I was 16 and loved it. I still remember going to like Circuit City to get Oblivion for a PC. And it didn't work on my PC because I had a toaster back then. Yeah, Morrowind is only with nostalgia lenses. Like, if you go back to play Morrowind, it's not that fun. Like, I went back to play it a few years ago, and the experience got soured because like I was all excited to go back to play it, and it was just kind of You know, I could go back to Oblivion even before the remaster, and I'd be like, you know what? This feels exactly like I remember. This feels exactly like I remember. I played Morrowind the first time in the pandemic, and I loved it, but I did use mods. See, when it comes to those games, if I do a playthrough, I tend to do it vanilla. Skyrim, I've added mods just because, like, some of them, like, after I've beaten it and everything, because some of the Skyrim mods are really funny, and man, I have put on mods in that game that I regret. Man, there are some mods that I regret putting in that game. The only way Morrowind is to work as a remake. Yeah. They need. The thing is also, like, all the old school fans really want a Daggerfall remake, which will never happen. We'll never see a Daggerfall remake. We'll never see an Arena. Dawn, why are you being a problem? We'll never see an Arena remake. We'll never see Morrowind. There's a chance, but it's so unlikely. If we haven't seen a Morrowind remake by this point, I don't think we ever will. I don't think we ever will. Morrowind isn't a game to play for the gameplay. It's a gameplay for the setting. One of the best examples of world building is in gaming. I don't disagree with you. You still need the game for a modern day experience. You still need to be able to have a game that feels good to be able to appreciate the lore and the setting. I say that as someone who is just a diehard Elder Scrolls fan. Honestly, and the Morrowind region is incredibly interesting. All the story of the elves and what they did with their gods, incredibly interesting, and I love every bit of it. Really, Dawn? Dawn, what are you? Hang on, Dawn. Get out. Get out. Why are you like this? Okay, go hide in your little house. She's like, oh, what did I do? And runs into her little house. She knows what she's doing, too. She's a smart cat. Yura always says that she doesn't have a thought in her head. I guarantee you this cat's smart. Daggerfall will be impossible to remake because of the scale. The map is literally twice the size of Britain in a playable area. Yeah. I see you. I see you. Yeah, Daggerfall would have insane system requirements. Yeah. I really wanted to play Morrowind, but I just could not force myself. The gameplay is so bad. The world building and story are great, but it means nothing. And that's what I was trying to say with it, because if you modded it, like, it's one of those games where, like, I'm not normally someone who condones modding for a first playthrough, and I know that sounds like a really purist take. I just think that if you are going to play a game for the first time, play it vanilla first. Because I remember whenever I play a game, like, on Twitch or something like that, some people will be like, oh, are you gonna mod this game? Like, no. I want to play the game the way it was meant to be played. And if I really like it and I keep playing, sure, I'll mod it. But first playthrough should be vanilla. I mean, do whatever you want. If you could play anything however you hope to do it. But like, if you're playing a game for the first time, I feel like vanilla is the way to do it. What are you two doing? God, these cats. What are you doing? Morrowind has a fantastic mod scene. I'm sure it does. Only mod I ever added to Baldur's Gate 3 was the dice mod. The only game I ever played modded was Divinity Original Sin 2, because there was a class that I really enjoyed playing. So I would always whenever I would re-download, I had to re-download the mod that gave me like a necromancer class. It was really fun. All right, next video. Let's get into this. The cats hopefully will calm down. What are you doing? Why are my cats like this? Why are they like this? Okay, let me put this back on. Okay, we have video number 2. We have more pars. I'm so happy. We haven't done a more pars video in a hot minute. We got a couple shorts, so let's see what we're in store for. Okay, it's not making any sound. That's always a good sign. It was muted. I totally knew that. I totally knew that. So anyway, now we're gonna say it. So yeah, we're gonna watch more pars. I haven't seen more pars in a hot minute.
Spiders are scary.
Yes,
but
they
hey,
are.
At least they can't get you in the water, right?
I hate that. I swear, as soon as I put on his videos, like within 3 seconds, I pause. I hate that.
What?
Oh, I hate that even more. It's fine. I'm not arachnophobic. You're arachnophobic. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that nightmare is a fishing spider. Native to the land down under, because of course it is. And you may be wondering why the f this thing is pulling a Jesus. Well, you see, fishing spiders have no webs.
It kind of looks like a huntsman spider, doesn't it? Like, wait, hang on, let me go back.
This thing is pulling a Jesus. Well, you see,
like, doesn't it kind of look like a huntsman spider? It's just big. It's just and you see my baby in the background is so scared of this thing. She's crying, okay? So any cries, just know it's because of Australia.
Fishing spiders have no webs, which means they can't just wait for a fly to clothesline itself when they're hungry. No, when they want to feed, they gotta hop in the ute, drive down to the waterfront, and get ready to do some serious fishing. Now, last I checked, spiders can't just go down to BCF and buy a fishing rod.
What's BCF? Is that an Australian place? I'm guessing it's like a well, I guess fishing, but I was gonna say like a sports store.
No, these little guys need to get hands-on, or should I say feet, because they start their hunt by resting their forelegs on the water's surface.
Okay.
These legs are covered in incredibly sensitive hairs, which detect tiny little ripples and vibrations from the water, basically giving them their prey's fucking IP address.
You know, I'm actually more surprised by the fact that like that the spider's mass is not too much, that it doesn't break the surface tension of the water. Because it looks like it's a pretty large spider. I'm pretty shocked that it floats.
Not only finding their location, but also doxing what fucking species it is. Uncooked fish finger located. All that's left to do is, you know, go out and grab him. But, how?
Ugh.
Well, no, he's not wearing 4 pairs of Frostwalker boots. Those long legs are also coated in hydrophobic air.
That's
this allows
how.
them to put their weight on the water.
It answered my question. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I was really shocked at how it didn't break the surface tension. All right, so it's because they're actually hydrophobic. That's really cool.
Without breaking the surface tension. This means that when they see their prey, they can simply Jesus towards it at Mach 5 and fucking grab it.
Oh, I don't like how it does that. Oh, I don't like that.
Fangs that inject, you guessed it,
Say the line.
Neurotoxin.
neurotoxin.
Yay!
And once it's paralyzed, they drag it back to the shore and have a feed. Ah, wait, this one's too small. We gotta throw him back.
Be free.
This plant.
That was so mean. That probably killed. Actually, that killed the fish almost certainly. I'm pretty sure if you slam a fish into the water with that much force, that fish is dead. That's so sad.
Explodes. But why? Well, you see, this is a squirting cucumber. Stop giggling. I
feel like you just named half a chat.
see you laughing. Stop it. This is serious. These things are found worldwide, and to understand where this thing got its name, you need to understand how most plants spread their seeds. You see, most of the time, plants store their seeds in their fruit. Birds then swoop down, grab their food at the drive-thru, eat it, and fuck off. They then digest the flesh of the fruit, but shit out the seeds. Seeds hit the ground, get fertilized, and the cycle begins anew. But the squirter is poisonous.
Of course it is.
Every single part of the plant is toxic, so if Tweety here eats it, he's gonna become a KFC family bucket. So if that's the case, how does it spread its seed? Well, same way you do. You see, the cuke stores its seeds in the fruits as well. But the fruits are made up of very soft cells, and as they grow, they slowly fill with moisture. This moisture causes them to swell and inflate, increasing pressure on the inside of the fruit. That pressure builds. The fruit stretches until finally all that pressure is too much for the stem to bear, and it pops out like the pin in a grenade. With that opening, all those seeds and all that pressure finally has somewhere to go. So, in order to spread its seed far and wide, it busts.
That is insane.
This.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, jokes aside, that's actually wild. Like, jokes aside, that is actually incredibly cool. Like, it's a terrible name, and it's a terrible jokes, but, like, that is so damn cool. I love when nature does stuff like that.
Is one of the oldest
horseshoe
creatures
crabs,
on
okay.
the planet.
Who's that Pokemon?
We got
All right. Gonna stop here and theory craft, even though it's not really theory crafting, but we're gonna talk for a second about horseshoe crabs. So you guys already know the obvious stuff, and I'm sure he's gonna touch upon it, that its blood is one of the most valuable substances on Earth, like per gram, right, or per ounce, whatever, because it's used for medical research and I believe chemo treatment. Where now they've had to actually start farms to milk them because now they're trying to not kill them out or wipe them out. So they milk them, put them back in the ocean. The other thing I remember hearing, and this one is where I get unsure about it, I believe I've heard that their blood is blue, and the reason for it being blue is because it has copper instead of iron in it. Not 100% sure on that one, but I believe that's to be the case. Pretty sure if that's the case, more parts will talk about it.
a boomer.
Introducing the horseshoe crab, found under the sea in the Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Oceans. And when I said old, I didn't mean individually.
They're old.
These little guys disconnect from the server at around age 40. And as far as their actual lives go, They're kind of boring. They're bottom feeders with zero offensive capability, and the only reason they have a tail is that without it, they would die if you flipped them onto their backs. No, when I say old, I mean as a species, because these things are walking fossils that have been running the exact same basic-ass build, completely unchanged, for millions of years.
It was like 3 mass
How many
extinction
millions?
events?
Well, here is a list of events that this little guy's family tree has lived through. The fall of Rome. The evolution of humankind.
Go back, I want to be monkey!
The Ice Age. God tossing a rock at the big-ass lizards.
Lizard.
Hell, this little fucker watched the first fish crawl onto land and was underwater when the first tree spawned. But I think the best way I can put this into perspective is that not unlike the way the Earth orbits the sun.
Yeah, see, this is one of those cases where it will be one of the literal worst things like that humanity could do is if we end up wiping them out, because we're like I said, we were using them for medical research, right? With all people are out there grabbing them to take their blood. Thankfully, we are doing things to not go overboard with it. But like, imagine we wipe out a 400 million year old species. Like, imagine like that would be like that would be the worst atrocity we could have done. These crabs survived the ocean turning into acids strong enough to feel twice. Yeah.
The sun orbits the Milky Way. Now, this process takes around 225 million years to complete. The horseshoe crab has done it twice! This frog deliberately breaks its own bones.
Oh, this is the wait, this is the Wolverine frog, right?
Well, you see, this is a hairy frog found on the west coast of Africa, and the reason it...
All right. I got the name wrong. I thought it was called the Wolverine frog, because I thought this one has the bones come out through its pads.
It's a brutality on itself, ironically enough, is self-defense. You see, these guys are small, coming in at an incredibly respectable 3 to 5 inches, and tipping the scales at only 150 grams, which is a problem, because they also inhabit the ecological equivalent of a fucking FromSoft game. Africa is one of the only places in the world that gives Australia a run for its money.
True.
With Mr. Frog here having to avoid birds, snakes, and rats on his walk to work. Now, in order to avoid this scenario, most frogs either run a high-level stealth build or dress up like a fucking highlighter and cover themselves in everyone's favourite liquid. But the hairy frog has read one too many X-Men comics.
Yeah!
Because this thing actually has another name. The fucking Wolverine frog.
I did get it right!
Because these little guys have claws, but not traditional claws like a cat's, which are made of keratin and freely extend and retract without an issue. No, instead, the finger bones on a hairy frog's hind legs are held in place by a small bone at the tip of their fingers. And when threatened, they snap the longer bone off the tip and through their fucking skin. And then,
It's so grim.
new weapon acquired, they employ the London self-defense strategy.
Oh my god, I love it. I actually love it. Every time we watch his shorts, I'm overjoyed. My goodness. All right. Let me do this. Let me do this. Also, I just saw that here, the When Your House is Haunted thing. That video, if you guys remember, one of the earliest variety videos I did outside of Warhammer was the When Your House is Haunted but Rent is Cheap. I am so happy to say that it ended up being one of my best performers, but over time. So I thought it was a colossal flop. Like, I thought it was a colossal flop because it did horrendously for me, right? Like, it was doing like 10% of what my normal viewership was doing for, or my normal view count would be on a video. So I didn't plan to do any more of them. And I was like, oh, it sucks. It was really, really fun to watch. I came back and I looked last night and it's like in my top 5. Like it ended up in like my top 5. I was like floored by it. I was like, what? How did that happen? Like how did that happen? Gotta love sleep. Yeah, no, that's some of the cool things about YouTube. It's a sprint, not a marathon. What do you mean it's a marathon, not a sprint? Yeah, a lot of VTubers I started the trend. Let's go. I gotta be quick on things. I gotta be fast. I gotta be nimble. But I love that. I love that. The thing is, I kind of learned this. And here's an interesting thing. I'm gonna put on music for a second. I'm gonna talk. And I am guilty of this in the early days too. I don't do it anymore. But in the early days, when I was first trying to get into reaction content, I looked at other reactors to see what they reacted to see what worked, right? And I would try things, and you know they would hit or miss, right? And I've learned that that is just what reaction VTubers do. Like whenever I do something, because I've seen some of them follow me. And I know what they're following me for. They're not following me because they like my content. They're following me because they're idea farming. So it's kind of funny. No, I'm not a trendsetter. But I mean, the thing is, I do see that in the space that people look at other people in the same niche to see what works. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's productive. Like again, this is not me being critical of it or saying anything about it's bad, because I've done it myself, right? Like it's something I definitely see. It's quite prevalent. Like it is quite prevalent in the space. Can I copy your homework, Tetra? Dude. I won't say anything, but I've seen like a group of like 5 have the exact same thumbnail. It doesn't even deviate from the thumbnail. And that's fine. You find something that works in the algorithm and you do it, but it's just kind of funny. Okay. You unironically started a new wave of 40K content. Been seeing lots of people dive in last month. We take that. Let me copy your homework and make it different. That's fair enough. It's just the case of noticing trends and improvising rather than literally following the herd. Yeah, of course. Look. I've seen peers of mine go really hard into like true crime. True crime seems to consistently work, but true crime's really not my bag. Like, it's not my cup of tea. I don't really have interest in it, so it wouldn't really, even if it performed, it wouldn't be fun to me. Because that's one of the big things for me. It's like I need to at least be relatively interested in the content, which is why Warhammer works well for me because I enjoy it. It's why the animal stuff always works well for me because I enjoy it. Shock value stuff, that stuff's always stimulating. I enjoy all that. I've watched like 30-ish VTubers react with Bricky videos. When something works, it works. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not. No, if I was gonna say the only one I'll take the trendsetter for is the house is haunted but the rent is cheap, because I think I was like one of the first reactors to it. I was one of the first VTuber reactors to it because I did not see anybody do it yet, which is why I'm like, oh, I guess it's a flop. Wait till Tetra gets invited onto Adric. I won't get invited onto Adric. Look. My goal is to be noticed by Pancreas Senpai. Okay, my oshi. All right. I don't think Bricky knows of my existence because like I don't go into his Discord and try socializing over there. All right. So like I don't think Bricky knows who I am, nor will he ever really know who I am, and that's okay. I respect him. I respect what he does. Yeah, Adric updated Vulcan episode guesting Tetra. Yeah, Have you considered BattleTech? It's 40K adjacent. I have not. He might. Pancreas Senpai. Yeah, Pancreas Senpai. He is my Oshi and my senpai. The Roast of Vulcan episode. Yeah, how to put a bigger target on my back from Black Templar fans or Salamander fans in this case. Watching so many VTubers pick up Bricky actually helped me pick up the content. I love that though. That's wonderful. It makes me happy. Well, Pancreas does interact with various YouTubers, so there's reasonable odds. I mean, he follows me. Pancreas does know I exist. Unlike the other people in the space, Pancreas does know I exist. But like I said, I admire the guy. I think he's really funny. I think he's very intelligent. I do think that he is a little bit thirsty, but I think he's really cool. I really respect him. Even if he never wants to do anything, even if he never wants to play a game of Halo with me, that's okay. That's okay. Should be named the icing of Vulcan. He would like the fire. Oh my god. We have to run out of Templar salamanders at some point. True. Bricky does seem to keep up with people if they're reacting to his stuff, to be fair. I feel like there are other people that he will end up interacting with because of the fact that they actively try to interact with him. I don't try to interact with Bricky because I understand what he does and how hard he works. And I really would think that anybody who actively tries to do that interacting like with somebody of that is going to come off in a negative sense. And I try really hard to just kind of stay in my lane. So that's kind of why it's a good and bad thing, right? Like I don't cause any problems because I stay in my lane, but at the same time, I also don't really end up interacting with like big names or anything like that. But I don't really need to. I'm just here for the fun. Pancreas is fun, to be honest. The ones that brought me to Warhammer are Islander and Coda. I still have yet to watch them. Pancreas is downright horrendous for Mortai. I've heard. Okay. Let me get the next video ready. We've got some Dylan Hollis recipes. Are you guys ready to suffer? Are you guys ready to suffer? Because I am. I'm ready for some cursed recipes. All right. Time for more recipes. This is, I believe, where we left off on the last one, so it should be like right at the end of this one.
Boo.
Oh, we watched the Watergate salad, but I just like the one word we see is poop. We saw the Watergate salad. Let's get through the Watergate salad. All right, water pie. Here we go. We're gonna wet our whistle with a water. How do you make a water pie? How does one even conceive a water pie?
Pie from the Great Depression. Can you bake a pie with 4 ingredients? Yes! I could also eat my mattress. Fire your oven.
Fair.
I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. Pastry! It's been 13 months. What if I told you I hate pie? Oh boy, fish! Fork it. I'm not that desperate.
Okay, it's pie. I mean, if it's just pie crust, it wouldn't be that bad. Oh, please don't be gelatin.
That's rude. Are you still here? Damn it. Add 3 gills of water. This rip
What?
for a fish. Is this a joke? Sugar.
What?
Flour. I think this qualifies as a pre-existing condition. Unconstitutional. Top with butter. We're not even at a red light. This is not legal.
What is this?
All right, it finished a bit early, like my ex. It's a breast implant.
No.
Oh, man. Very bad. Tastes like lint.
Yeah, like, I would say it tastes like lint. I'm trying to think what it would actually taste like. You basically just put like dough ingredients together and then put some like. Why? It was what, flour, sugar, and water with butter. Like that's, yeah, I know, Great Depression. I feel like there's something you could do here with those ingredients that'd be better. Couldn't you just make sugar cookies? Couldn't you just make sugar cookies out of these same ingredients instead of making water pie? Right? No?
Soggy lint. Amish lard cakes from 1895.
Ew.
Lard, 100% solid pig fat, a disturbing concept, and we're going to fry a dessert in it. Start with 1.5 cups of sour milk. They mean buttermilk. Full cup of heavy cream. Oh my. 2 eggs. Oh, this is thick. 1.5 teaspoons of floof soda.
So far it's
Pinch of
fine.
Salt. Add flour until we get a pie dough consistency.
It's fine, right? It's right. It's fine, right?
Disturbingly dense. And now we heat 2 pounds of lard for deep frying. Pounds! Just get out of the box, please.
I mean, it's gonna be deep fried.
Let's go, big boy. Wait, you didn't tell me what shape they are. When in doubt, triangles. I'm not ready. Just flip. Cooperate.
I'm assuming it's
Oh
fine.
my god. Hello, lard triangle. You were swimming.
Oh, why
in
is it so
animal fat.
thick?
How does it feel?
Wait,
Then we
why
roll
is it
them in
so
sugar? Ooh. That in my stomach like a bowling ball. The dominant flavor is saturated fat. No spices, just cream and a sudden urge to hibernate.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what I expected. It's probably not that bad. It's just really heavy. It's just gonna be really, really heavy. So I feel like that's the only issue. Like, he's worried about going into like cardiac arrest over that. But like, I don't think it's gonna taste bad. It's just gonna taste greasy.
A baked bean pizza.
No. 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 All the British people in here cheering for this shit. No. Absolutely not. That is gonna be vile.
From 1954. Now, I'm scared of lots of things, including the IRS, clowns, and English majors. But I'm most afraid of beans where they don't belong. Oh, dear. The sauce begins with a can of tomato paste. Plus 8 ounces of spaghetti sauce.
What?
We're starting out on the wrong foot. More like the wrong limb. Add oregano for an authentic taste. I feel like I'm in Italy. For the crust, we
I feel like Liongate needs to react to this.
squashed together refrigerator biscuits. Sorry, what were you saying about authentic? On goes the sauce. A bit of Parmesan. Now 20 ounces.
Okay, so hear me out. Up to this point, while I don't think it'd be great, it's definitely edible. Because I bet you the biscuit dough and the rest of it's going to taste fine, but adding the beans to the... No.
Of baked beans. What part of Italy are you from? Kentucky? In the center, some fresh mozzarella. How to get an entire country to hate you. Step 1. This. $4.25 for 10, then $3.25 for 20. No. We can serve this with anchovies or sardines. How about a swift death?
No.
Oh, what? What is wrong with you?
No, absolutely not.
You are sick. It's just vile.
Yeah. Look, and oh my god, every time I pause, it's just the name of the next cursed dish. Oh my god, they keep getting worse. How do they keep getting worse? Like, I thought that the other ones were terrible. These are horrendous. Brits wouldn't know good beans if Sean walked in. You know what? Fair.
Bologna cake from 1966. What's more American than bologna and cake? Eating it. Pack of cream cheese. A tablespoon
I feel
of onion
attacked.
powder. Plus 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Boy,
Okay.
honey, this sure does smell like a cake, huh? Luis, I'm taking the kids. Are you ready for bologna?
No.
Good, because there's a pound of it. She says
What?
you'll find the rest of the recipe quite intuitive. No, I don't. Certainly not. Your friends are going to love the circles of indistinct mammal. Normally, I'm quite comfortable handling meat, but this is physically disturbing me. The last one. To finish, we decorate with spray cheese. This is giving me emotions previously unknown to
No.
man.
No. Oh.
Are you supposed to eat this on crackers or on drugs? It's uncomfy and it's bad.
Yeah.
Broiled humdingers from...
The hell's a humdinger? What the hell's a humdinger? I hate it. What the hell's a humdinger?
1967. Don't ask. This is a spam recipe, one of mid-century America's favorite things, right up there next to big cars and being prejudiced. First up, we put our can of spam in a blender. It's gonna be one of those days, huh? Perfect. If this red flag was any bigger, it would be a blanket. To the ground spam, we add a teaspoon of mustard, plus 2 tablespoons of ketchup, which is spelled catsup. Why? Quarter cup of moo juice and a half cup of oats.
What is happening?
Are there worse things than this?
What is this, like a meatloaf made of spam?
You know, jokes aside, I'm quite disturbed by this. The next step is to strain our can of halved peaches. Of course it is.
Why are
The
there
epitome of
peaches?
logic. I think I'm becoming jaded. Peaches onto a baking sheet. Form some patties. Squish. Broil these on the top rack for 10 minutes. Maybe they'll disappear. Well, some didn't make it, which is unfortunate. Some did.
No.
Well, that was utterly horrendous. Thank you. Cheese cookies from 81. Call me crazy, but I believe that
Please
cookies
tell me
should
this
be
one's
sweet
fine.
to
This
dessert.
should be
A
fine. This
treat.
should be fine,
This
right? Like, they're
isn't
just cream
bad.
cheese
No,
cookies.
Our friends from the 80s have come up with a savory appetizer cookie. So, we start by melting 2 sticks of oleo. This stuff also goes by the name of margarine, or wrong. Then a half pound of sharp cheddar. Mr.
Okay.
Cheese, I'm so
Fine.
sorry.
Okay, 2 steps in, we're fine.
Sloppy. A teaspoon of red pepper flakes.
Okay,
Worcestershire.
we're fine.
Tablespoon of Tabasco.
We're still fine.
And 2 plus 2 cups. I can't say it. Rice Krispies. I have never seen anything like this. Finally, a pinch of salt and 2 cups of flour. Bake at 350 until golden brown. Oh, no. That's not right. Spicy and cakey and crunchy. Just eat cheese. Chipped beef from World War II.
Oh, chipped beef is
also known as
gross.
shit on a shingle. Butter. Milk.
Okay. So, this one I know, because I've heard of shit on a shingle. This stuff is vile, right? This one gets used by British people when they're trying to argue that their dishes are not vile. So I've had a British person say to me, where it's like, you guys have shit on a shingle, you have this, and they'll show a picture of this, and it's like, I never had heard of it at that point. I'm like, this exists probably in some weird sect in the Midwest. Like, I'm sorry, like, no, nobody eats this. Nobody eats this.
Now we have dried beef.
I didn't know beef came in a jar.
Chop up your dehydrated cow. Pamper bath. Flour. Pepper. Boys, it's time to toast.
No, this stuff looks vile.
Comes from. No.
Yeah, it's not good. It tastes like it's insulting me. A Civil War cake. Of course it uses lard. Why not? Honey, call the police. 2 cups of raisins. It's always the raisins. Add 1 egg of lard. What are you feeding your chickens? You happy?
What?
Sister. Ah, fire! A cup of coffee. No. 1 cup of coffee. This is a misdemeanor.
What the fuck is this?
Something. Brown sugar. Eggy. Lard. What do you want me to do with this? Call the CDC. This is the South's revenge.
What is this? This is an abomination.
Add nuts. How much? I need nut instructions. Woo! Smells deceased. Seems to have collapsed, like the South.
Oh.
Tastes damp. Wet.
It tastes
Clam
damp.
biscuits from 1974.
Why? What? Wait, could clam biscuits work? You know, you think of like clam chowder, right? Like New England clam chowder. You could put like a biscuit in the clam chowder, so like maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's gonna be okay. Like, just hold. What if we hold, maybe this one will be fine.
Now, I love biscuits and I love clams, but do they belong together? Well, as my parents tried explaining to a 12-year-old me when they divorced, probably not. We begin with 2 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of floof powder, then 2 tablespoons of shortening. Vegetable shortenings are great for when you want something like butter, but worse. Please get off the spoon. Please, sir. Mix with hands. In goes a 1/2 cup of moo juice.
Okay, we're
then
still
a can
okay.
of minced clams. Little strange, fam, but you do you. Yep, those are clams. Oh, it wants the juice too. Mix. Drop these into a muffin pan. So are they biscuits or are they muffins? What are you? That's what I used to ask my sexuality in high school. Hello. Butter. I see. I'm getting a top note of cat food, like someone dropped a biscuit in a fish tank. Yeah, those taste like low tide. That is to say, New Englanders would love it. A coal miner cake from 1936. Starting off on the right foot here with a 1/2 cup of lard. If I cut off my feet, do we still have to do this? This stuff is great, you know. You can run your tractor on it. Brown sugar. Drizzle of molasses. Is this the coal? 4 eggies.
So far, this one's fine,
You seem
aside
to
from
have
the
made
lard.
a chamber pot. Flour. Cuckoo. 1/2 cup of strong coffee. Fire. Now we mix baking soda into sour cream. There are too
here we
many
go.
things happening. Get in. Then we alternate flour, coffee, flour, coffee. You are bashed. Has it unionized? Looks good, but looks can be deceiving. They're very dense and pungent. Suppose I wouldn't mind it if I was in a coal mine, but in a coal mine I'm not. A cottage cheese jello salad from
Oh my god, how? It's like Whiplash. There's so many bad ones. There's so many bad ones. I can't. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, has to be the last one. My brain can't handle more of these.
That's not a typo. This is deliberate. Someone published this and got paid for it. Let's not make assumptions, though. We begin with a pint of cottage cheese, followed by a can of crushed pineapple. Well drained, of course, like my hope. Next, we joyously sprinkle in an entire packet of lime jello.
Oh, I hate
Can I
this.
start making
Oh, I hate
assumptions
this.
now? Oh, come on.
Oh, I hate
Ma'am,
this.
do you know what a
Oh,
salad is?
no.
Whatever you
Oh, it
think,
looks
it's
horrible.
wrong. Lastly, we fold in a tub of Cool Whip. To the fridge. At least nothing hatched.
My toes are curling. Oh. Oh.
Ma'am, no. That's just...
I can't. I'm sorry I keep pausing.
It's just disrespectful.
Yeah. You know what? That's enough Dylan. That's enough Dylan for today. We'll finish this one another time. My stomach is in shambles. Also, I know everybody wants me to watch the good videos. Once we get through this one, we're going to watch good videos too of his. Oh my god. It's so bad. It's so bad. I can't. I can't. Oh. It's actually terrible. It's actually terrible. It looked like Goblin. It looked like Goblin. Yeah, exactly. It looked like Goblin Chunky. Yeah. Everything but the cottage cheese could have done something. Those recipes seem like the creators have zero sense of taste. I'm sorry. Which one was it? The one that really churned me off? I think it was like the spam one. The spam one was rough. The spam one on peaches. Thanks for the suffering. Anytime. I was gonna eat, but I think I might wait a while. All right. So next up, we are gonna be watching a compilation of Mini Minutemen. Was another one that was recommended to me. I haven't watched him yet. It's a pretty short compilation. We'll see how it goes. And then we also have, depending on time, of course, I have a video from Extinct Zoo, which we might not do. We might pass in the Extinct Zoo one, because right now we're about, we're like 3 hours in. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the... Should I just do the Dark Eldar video? Or should I do the Mini Minuteman one first as well? Something I haven't watched yet? Okay, so we'll do the Mini Minuteman one. Let me just check real quick with Yura and the BB. And I'll be right back, okay? Just hold on, like 2 seconds. Vault Dweller, there's a settlement that needs your help. Hello, hello, hello. I am back. Okay, are you guys ready? You're so real for that? Wait, what did Warboss say? What'd you guys do? You guys have behaved. You guys haven't done anything bad, I don't think. Right? I think you've been fine. Oh, I just saw an update. I did see 3 of you guys join the Patreon. Hell yeah. Thanks, guys. I love that for you. Scurry Scamper? What? You didn't do anything to warrant that. There's no scurry scampering. It's fine. That you know. Wait, what? What are you guys doing? I'm confused. I am confuzzled. Also, Twitch is weird. Twitch is very, very weird. When you click off of a stream that's muted, you'll hear the audio for a split second, which is very weird, very strange. Make sure you're on live chat. I am. Fallout 4 is disappointing to me. If your standards were just too high, possibly. Because I still think Fallout 4 was fun. It's still better than most games, just not good. It's just not great by a Fallout game standard. That's the big one for me. Okay. Let me get the next video ready.
Whoa, a diamond.
Whoa, buddy, you're already talking. We're starting off strong. I like just the first image already has me concerned. So we're starting with. This is what we're starting with. Oh my goodness, that's funny. All right, well, today we are gonna finally try Mini Minutemen. First time we're gonna be watching them. I actually don't really know anything about their content. I saw some of their thumbnails were about like disproving conspiracy and stuff like that, but I actually don't know what they are. This was set up for me by my mod, so I'm looking forward to actually watching it.
Whoa, a diamond sword is so unrealistic. I want to say that now. I guess it's not a diamond or a sword, but it's still pretty cool, I guess. This is an ancient dagger with a blade made out of quartz. You don't see things like that.
Okay, come on. That's such a stretch. Be like, oh well, you know, this is a diamond sword adjacent. What is a quartz on the most scale of hardness? Right? Like how close to a diamond does quartz get on the most scale of hardness? Just out of curiosity. History is his content. Well, that's very cool. I'm already judging first 4 seconds in. It's still really neat, don't get me wrong. A quartz dagger is interesting, but I'm just curious how close to it as far as like the most scale of hardness is it? Because I actually don't know. I don't know what quartz goes on. What quartz's numbered as. Not even I didn't think so.
Every day, and that's because quartz artifacts like this are super rare. It was found here with all these unfortunate people at a site called the Tolos de Montelirio in Spain. Today it looks like this, and it dates back almost 5,000 years. This megalithic burial chamber yielded all kinds of crazy artifacts. It included 25 individuals, including this woman who was buried wearing a dress made out of ivory beads and amber. This 8.5-inch.
Bro, how do you go from like finding this random 5,000-year-old like site to be like, oh yeah, this woman was dressed beautifully, and there was there's a bunch of dead bodies and a quartz dagger.
Quartz blade was found by itself tucked away at the back of the chamber. It took an immensely skilled artisan to create something like this out of this material. It's believed that this wasn't a tool but a status symbol. Quartz blade of this size would be awfully brittle, and there's no natural quartz anywhere near this burial. Safe to say it would have been a coveted object back in the day, and was included here as a final spectacular burial offering. If you like cool history, sauce me a follow.
Okay, so I have a bone to pick. Not with him. That was actually really great delivery. I like that. So I like his content. I can already tell you. But no, I have a bone to pick with the dagger, and the reason why is because is the way it was done, right? And this is the reason. I have gotten so many shorts in my YouTube algorithm of these people who just make arrowheads all day. And like, I understand people have their hyperfixations, cool. I don't know how people watch the exact same thing be done 4 million times as shorts content, because I've seen so many damn arrowheads made the exact same way, and there's nothing fascinating about it. And I see the shape of this dagger, and all I can think of is are those guys with the deer antler sitting there carving the little corners of it, and I'm just like, that's how it was probably made. Oh, you get those? Yeah, I get those. I get them all the time. And it's not that they're bad, it's just that it's the same thing every time. So it's like, I see this, and yeah, all I can think of is like, well, okay, this is made by someone who knows how to make arrowheads. Tism, I watch arrowheads for days. Ah!
Courts anywhere near this burial. Spectacular burial. Interesting in Ohio. Cool history, sauce me a follow. Big news, guys. Turns out there's actually something interesting in Ohio. Here it is. It's this.
Except the snow and the rain.
A circle. It's a great big circle. A circle so great, in fact, that it's been dubbed the Great Circle. To give you an idea of how great it truly is, it could fit 4 American football fields inside it.
Okay.
I don't know what that is in metric, and frankly, I don't care. The Great Circle is an earthwork, and was once part of a gigantic ceremonial complex. This site is located in what is today Newark, Ohio, and it once covered 4 square miles. This site dates back more than 2,000 years and was constructed by the Hopewell culture, a paleo-indigenous culture that built this as a massive pilgrimage center. Today, the only parts of it that remain are the Great Circle and the Circle and Octagon, with huge portions of this site lost during the development to the city of Newark. But look at how big this thing was. I had the opportunity to work with none other than the Dr. Brad Lepper on site at the Great Circle Earthworks to make an entire documentary about it. So come join me in learning more about this spectacular site. YouTube channel Mini Minuteman premieres tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This map...
Okay. Again, I feel bad because it's not anything to do with Mini Minuteman. Because again, this guy is great. I already can tell you I like him. But... he's like setting off core memories to me that I didn't even know I had, or like problems that I have with like little nuanced things. What he just did there with like the Dr. Brad Lepper, right? All I can think of is like when you're watching cooking shows and like you know, like America's Next Chef or whatever with Gordon Ramsay, and they'll like announce some random ass chef from like the middle of nowhere, be like, and now we've got this great new chef for you guys, and I know you're all excited. We've got Jimothy von Jimmenheimer. And then everybody just starts screaming like, oh my God, it's my idol. I'm so excited. He's going to eat my dish. And it's like, who is this person? You act like there is some notoriety to this individual. Who is this person? Now, Dr. Brad Lepper may in fact be a very, very reputable person who's worth knowing, but I have no idea who he is. And he made it seem like I should. Oh my God, you should watch Uncle Roger's react to Jamie Oliver. I know Uncle Roger, and I know that I have a similar humor. Jimothy the Goat. Oh my God, Jimothy. Jimothy von Jimmenheimer, the man, the myth, the legend. Yo, I heard he turned water to wine. But do you guys know what I mean? Do you ever see that in shows where it's like there's a guest who comes on and everybody has to act like they're the greatest thing ever? Yeah, put some respect on Chef Jimothy's name. I can't. I can't. I'm so sorry. Like, literally, we're trying to watch this stuff. All of my commentary is completely not even adjacent to what he's talking about.
Has a weird pattern. Each pin is an archaeological site where a tattooed mummy has been discovered.
Oh.
Tattooed mummies are crazy rare. They've only been found at around 60 archaeological sites in the whole world, making them more rare than gold or gemstones. But on this map, we can see that these discoveries are clustered. There's the Peruvian coast, where mummies are found with patterns of intricate blackwork. There's the Nile River Valley, where mummies have symbols and hieroglyphics that sometimes say things. And then the Central Eurasian Steppe. Groups like the Pazyryks made these spectacular animal designs. So does this pattern show the only places where ancient people did tattoos? Almost certainly not. A tattoo is only as permanent as you are, and so they need to be mummified in order to survive. So what this map really shows is a survivor bias. Places where cultures did tattoos in an environment that was right for preserving mummies. It's tantalizing to think about all the tattoo traditions that have been lost, but the ones we have found tell us so much. So of course I had to make a whole video on the bizarre world of tattooed mummies.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, even if I don't react to it, I'm probably gonna watch that in my free time, because I find that to be incredibly fascinating. Just because, you know, like I said before, I'm covered in tats, so I always find tattoo culture really interesting. Disrespecting the great Jimothy von Jimmenheimer, that's going in the book. Not the book of grudges!
If you want to stop doom scrolling and come learn something, it's out now. YouTube
Absolutely.
Mini Minuteman. Oh, look at those little dudes. God damn,
Look at those little
them go.
guys.
These little guys are the swimmers, and you can find them in the Cave of Swimmers. Not to be confused with the Cave of Swingers.
Isn't this in the
Trust
Cave
me,
of
how I
Bulls or
know.
whatever in
Cave
France?
paintings depict something really unusual. People swimming. Well, that's actually kind of stupid. That's not unusual at all. I swing day and night. Would you expect paintings of swimmers to be found here?
Oh.
Yeah, pretty unusual now, right? Never question me again. Why are there paintings of people swimming?
Okay, I love him. I love his sass. I could have a drink with him.
In the largest desert on the planet, other than Antarctica. I know, smartass. Archaeologists have found that the symbols and other artwork that surround
I'm sorry. I'm gonna just do that sometime. I mean, some random time on Twitch, I'll be saying something. I'll prove you guys wrong. I'll be like, yeah, never question me again.
them could date back as far as 10,000 years. And at that time, Africa looked like this. I swear it's a different map. Look, see, it's green up there. Isn't that cool? This
Yeah,
was called
very,
the
very
African Humid Period, when huge monsoonal rains would sweep into northern Africa and made a fertile grassland instead of a desert. Explorers found these carvings over 100 years ago. They were really confused, because this is what the place looked like where they were found. When the carvings were made, it would have looked more
crazy.
like this. African Humid Period is fascinating. If you want to learn more about it, you're in luck, because I just did a whole video on it. YouTube channel, Mini Minuteman.
Love the way he does that. That's actually a great segue. Also, I will say this, interesting with the Green Sahara project, right? Or not project, but the Green Sahara thing. I know they said that theoretically, if they use, I forgot if they said they would put them in the desert, where they were talking about if they set up solar panels in the deserts of Africa, that it would one, it would generate a ton of power, but it would also change the climate of the region to be tropical. I don't know the exact details of it, but I just remember that vaguely.
Know that North America once had its own species of panda.
Did not
Unless
know
you
that.
did, in which case, look at you, Jesus Christ. In the year 2000, a team of highway construction workers in Tennessee discovered this, the Gray fossil site dating back between 4.5 and 5 million years to the early Pliocene. Paleontologists analyzed the site among the remains of extinct tapirs and rhinoceros. They found this, the skull of an extinct species of panda.
See, that's so
it became
cool.
known as Bristol's panda, named after Larry Bristol, the man who made the discovery, which I guess is a lot better than having called it Larry's panda.
No, I would like Larry's
Which has been
panda too.
awful. It's believed that the closest living relative of Bristol's panda is the ever-charismatic red panda.
so
Though the
precious.
Bristol panda would have been notably larger, that this was a terrestrial species rather than an arboreal species like this guy. The red panda has a little thumb adaptation that allows it to climb trees. The Bristol's panda didn't, meaning it probably spent more of its time on the ground. Bristol's panda also
You like the cut of his? I love the cut of his jib. The cut of his jib is amazing. He's fantastic. Honestly, I can't believe I've waited so long to watch this guy. Oh god, I hear my cats causing havoc. I have a tattoo with the 4 swords of the Hunter's. Nice, nice. I have I think I said it's 8 or 9 tattoos, and I've got another 2 already planned out. One of them's gonna be horrible because it's my entire other thigh, and the last thigh one was terrible.
lacked a sagittal crest, a bone ridge that exists on the red panda's head that allows for more muscle and a stronger bite force. It's only known from one site. It could be the first of many North American pandas. You ever been killed, dragged up a tree by a leopard?
Nope.
This guy did it. Who knows? Maybe it was even kind of fun. This poor bastard is called SK-54.
Oh, he's
and
the
it is a
teeth.
fragment from the base of a skull. And while that's pretty interesting on its own, I guess, the most interesting part of it are those.
Yep.
2 small punctures in
Yep.
what would have been the base of the skull. When archaeologists discovered this, they weren't
that's so
exactly sure
grim.
what this was about. But they were able to tell that this was likely a skull fragment from this guy, Paranthropus robustus, one of our human ancestors. They would have lived about 1.5 million to 1 million years ago. And they had a sagittal crest. Look at that thing right there. It was to attach a bunch of muscle to so their jaw would be super strong. That's why we called them robustest, because they were the robustest. Anyway, what were we talking about? But it didn't take long for archaeologists to recognize this pattern, because they fit almost perfectly to the lower teeth of a leopard.
Oh my
So
god.
where did the other teeth go then? Oh no.
Oh, they go for the eyes.
It's been a really bad day to be this.
Ah.
Next time you're walking around in the woods, just be very grateful that you will never have to answer yes to somebody asking you.
Yeah, chat. Just so you know, if I ever go after you and I bite you, I'm gonna bite your eyes.
Tip of the day. Try not to end up like this guy. This right here is a replica of
Hi,
a
Lena.
discovery known as the La Brea Woman. And they are the only human remains ever found at the La Brea tar pits. La Brea tar pits is exactly what it sounds like. It's tar that has bubbled to the surface from a petroleum deposit. It's been there for about 40,000 years, and giant dudes got stuck in it. Because of this, most of what's found at the La Brea tar pits are giant Ice Age animals, making this single discovery a huge anomaly.
All right. Also, dumb question, because this is where I will be a little bit ignorant. Have they fully excavated the tar pits, or are they still finding more things? Because I never hear anything new about it, but I remember when they would talk about like the woolly mammoths and all that stuff. So I actually don't know what's like what else is there, because I find the tar pits concept really fascinating.
Analysis of these remains suggests that it dates back a staggering 10,250 years. This makes her one of America's oldest paleo-indigenous people ever found, and a direct ancestor of many West Coast modern indigenous groups. Because this discovery was made in like the 19-teens, a lot of its context has been lost. So we're not entirely sure why she ended up in the tar pits, but a fracture on the skull suggests that foul play could have been
so someone just
involved.
dumped her
If you
in.
want to learn more about how truly bizarre this fossil site is, you're in luck. Because I got a chance to go behind the scenes and even pet a saber-toothed
I'm so
tiger.
jealous.
Check it
This
out,
guy's
YouTube
gotten such
video,
great
man.
experiences.
Whoa, I swear, it's not what it looks like. I'm kidding, it's exactly what it looks like. It's a harpoon. What you goddamn pervert. This is probably the most important harpoon ever, if that's something you can quantify. This is called the Colinda harpoon, and it is the first artifact ever recovered from Doggerland, the lost sunken landmass between the British Isles and continental Europe.
Oh.
Europe's Atlantis, if you will. It was discovered in the 1930s by fishermen in the North Sea. They dredged up a big chunk of peat, and then they found that in it, and they were like, well, that's fucking strange. Turns out the damn thing's like 10,000 years old and made out of red deer antler. Archaeology in Doggerland is really hard because it's underwater, but I think this sunken...
I'm not gonna lie. Again, show my ignorance. I've never heard of Doggerland, like ever. I've never heard of Doggerland.
landmass is fascinating, and we actually know a lot about it because of this. Also not what it looks like, it's a peat core sample. The layers of peat create a calendar which lets scientists be able to tell what the environment on Doggerland was like for almost its whole existence.
Huh.
You take a field trip back in time to learn what this place was like, which is why I made a whole video on it. It's up now, YouTube channel Mini Minuteman. And if you're watching this early enough, you can even join me for the live premiere. Tonight, Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What even is that? I'm gonna have to go and watch all of his videos. Like, every one of these sounds so damn interesting. My impression of what someone might say if they didn't know that this was one of the most unusual types of fossils in the world. What makes this fossil so rare is not what it is, it's how it is. See, normally when you think of a fossil bed, you think of something like this. Big dude falls in the water, dies, gets covered by sediment, turns to stone, Bob's your uncle, and there he is excavating a fossil. But this one is quite a bit different. See, this isn't preserved in stone, it's preserved in good old-fashioned American crude oil. See, this is called an asphaltic fossil. It's insanely rare and only occurs in less than a dozen places around the world. That's because in order for this to happen, you need two things. Tectonic activity and gallons upon gallons of crude oil, baby. Tectonic activity, ground cracks. Oil bubbles to the surface. It evaporates, turns into black sticky tar. Sticky tar gets covered by leaves and water and shit, and some idiot like this gets stuck in it. The most famous of these is the La Brea tar pit,
we're going back to the tar
which has
pits
preserved
again.
literally millions of fossils. And I got a chance to go behind the scenes at this site with the legendary Lindsay Nicole. Check it out on YouTube. In my opinion, this is one of the most interesting rock carvings in the entire world. Well, why is that? You say, well, come here, I'm gonna tell you. This carving was created by the Hohokam culture. Them and their neighbors were some of the first cultures to adopt agriculture.
Hohokam D's. Okay, sorry, had to get that out of my system.
In the American Southwest, around about 2,000 years ago. But what makes this carving so interesting is what it depicts. Well, this kind of just looks like patterns. There's evidence to suggest that this depicts constellations. The Pleiades, Orion, the moon, which isn't a constellation, but you gotta throw it in there anyway, shout out to the moon. So then what's that in the middle?
How
Due
did
to
they-
the time period that the Hohokam
I'm more impressed that somebody looked at that and deciphered that they put the Seven Sisters in that. How do you discern the Pleiades? How on earth do you look at that and be like, ah, yes, that's the Pleiades? Excuse me? Huh? Like, at least with hieroglyphics, while it's like a different thing that we can't really understand without the Rosetta Stone, but like, this is just a circle on a rock. How do you go, yeah, this is the Pleiades?
occupied this area, it's very likely that this carving depicts a supernova, specifically the supernova of 1054. SN 1054 lasted for 2 years and was so bright it could be seen during the day. And the reason I love this so much is because it was also documented by countless other cultures around the world, from Asia to Europe to the Americas. Turns out we all look at the same sky. If you want to learn more about archaeology and ancient cultures, come check me out on YouTube, Mini Minuteman. Ooh, that's a little creepy. This is called Man Mound.
I bet you'll never guess why.
Yeah, why?
Located in Wisconsin, this earthwork dates back around 1,000 years.
Wait,
and
really?
It is known as an effigy mound. Most effigy mounds constructed by American indigenous people during the woodland period depict animals, like this one, which shows a little procession of bears. How sweet. Or this one, which is probably the most famous, Serpent Mound, which depicts, you don't need me to explain this to you. But what makes this one so unique is that it depicts a person. There were once tens of thousands of effigy mounds across the country, almost all of which were completely destroyed. And this is the only one remaining that depicts a person.
Huh.
And it only still exists today because in the early 1900s, a group of people got together to protect it. Not until after a road went through the legs, unfortunately. But what this figure actually is has been the subject of a lot of debate. The unusual shape of the head is probably the most notable part, which some people believe is either horns or a headdress and could depict ceremonial regalia.
It's the devil.
Until
It's
more
the
research
devil.
is done, it remains one of the most unusual and mysterious effigy mounds. If this topic interests you, check out my recent video on the Great Circle Earthworks. When I first saw this picture, I thought to myself, bullshit.
It's
Thought
Lord
it was
Helix.
like some AI thing or someone like painted on it, I don't know. But no, apparently this is a real thing called a pyritite.
Oh, it's covered in pyrite.
fossil, and it's made of iron pyrite, which
Yeah.
you may know as fool's gold. When something gets fossilized, it gets replaced with minerals. Most of the time, it just looks like the rock around it. But in
That's
certain
so
circumstances, it can be
cool.
replaced
Oh
with
my
fool's
God.
gold, making a golden fossil. This happens in places where a lot of things get buried really quickly, so it creates an anaerobic environment, an environment with no oxygen. Bacteria that decomposes without oxygen creates a bunch of sulfur, which then binds with iron, and boom, you get a
want
golden
one.
fossil. I still couldn't quite believe this, so I took one for the team and went all the way to Pennsylvania so I could smash the fuck out of some rocks. And sure enough, they exist.
I'm gonna have to go to Pennsylvania. That's gonna be a field trip that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna film that, and I'm gonna show you guys. I want one.
The whole dig is up on YouTube now. YouTube channel Mini Minute Man. If you want to come see me swing a sledgehammer for 20 minutes, well, you know exactly where to find me. These right here aren't just
If I filmed myself holding a sledgehammer, it would be the most sad, dainty swings ever. It would be terrible. It would be so embarrassing.
your average weird-looking sticks. They are the only 3 existing examples of one of the rarest types of maps in the entire world. They're called the Amosolic maps, and they were created by the
Amosolic,
indigenous
he's messing me
Tinnamut or Tinnamasut people of eastern Greenland. Now these look a little confusing, but I'll share with you how they work, because they're not only an ingenious piece of technology, but an interesting reflection of the culture and material resources available to this group. Safe to say Greenland's a little rough in the whole natural resource department. So
poor
groups like the Tinnamasut settled along the coasts and sustained themselves off of marine resources, often in canoes, not unlike this. And that is where the Amosolic maps come in. With no trees available, these bad boys are carved out of driftwood. Here's the cool part, both of these are technically just one map, with the notches in the large one representing the mainland coast, and the thin one representing the coastal islands. Meaning that these are handheld, waterproof maps used for navigating the intricacies of Greenland's coastline.
Oh, that is so
While it's a shame
cool.
only 3 exist today, they represent an ingenious piece of indigenous technology.
That is
If
so
you want more
damn cool.
History, come check me out on YouTube at Mini Minute Man. This is the oldest known statue of a guy saying, ooh. To be fair, if I had that jawline, I'd probably also be saying, ooh. This guy is called the Shigir Idol, and it is the oldest wooden statue ever discovered. This wooden idol dates back 12,000 years. The people that carved this would have shared a planet with mammoths. I know what you're thinking whenever you watch my videos, so how big is it? It's a little hard to get that sense of scale, like am I
Don't
popping
stop.
an American Spirit yellow
My
in
cat
there or
being
something?
a
Well,
leader.
however big you thought it was, you ready to lose your shit? Because you're wrong. Yeah, it's 10 feet tall. So tall that this image won't even fit on the aspect ratio of my phone, but I swear his head is at the top of this. This is just the part we have left of it. There's evidence that it was once 16 feet tall.
Oh.
The entire totem was made out of a single larch tree, and the figure's body is covered in repeating patterns and geometric designs. And we really don't know a goddamn thing about what it means. Now, there's a lot of theories, but it was found 14 feet deep in a peat bog, so there's not a lot of context for it. Could have been ceremonial, marked territory, or perhaps just been a decoration. One thing is for certain, even after 12,000 years, this guy makes you go, ooh. You ever wondered why Scotland looks like that? What do you mean,
No,
what am I
I have
talking
not.
about? The giant line that runs through the middle of it? You've never looked at that and thought, huh, that's a little weird?
Nope.
Well, that weird giant line is called the Great Glen. It's a valley that runs from coast to
Not
coast
the Great
completely
Steve.
against the grain of all the other hills and mountains. The base of it has a series of these long freshwater lakes, including Loch Ness. They're all in a perfectly straight line and both look and are oriented differently than all the other lakes in the area. Take a moment to absorb the beauty.
Wow.
Alright, now let's talk about why it exists. This strange valley is the ghost of an ancient fault line, now creatively referred to as the Great Glen Fault. We're talking like 300 million years ago when the collision of Pangaea created the Appalachian Mountains. When all this ripped apart again, it caused...
I have a moment here. I'm having a moment here. Not that he's saying it wrong, because everybody says things differently. But I've always believed that they were the Appalachian Mountains, not the Appalachian Mountains. But to each their own. different states say it differently, I suppose. I was just kind of gobsmacked from that one.
Some issues, including the Great Glen Fault, a strike-slip fault where both pieces of crust are moving in opposite directions to each other. This fault is so old that there's actually pieces of it that exist in northern Canada as well. It has become inactive with the opening of the Atlantic Ocean. And during the last ice age, glaciers scoured this fractured rock, creating this strange valley. If you like weird things like this,
don't you start the emu shit on me. No. I'm being a lot nicer about it because I'm asking it as a question. I'm not stating that my way is the correct way like the emu people.
sauce me a follow. This is one of the most unique skeletons ever discovered.
Why is that?
It doesn't look all that unique to me. Oh, really? Would this change your mind?
Yes.
No, it wouldn't? Okay,
no, it totally would,
So I know this doesn't look like much, but this is a human brain turned to glass.
Okay, that's cool.
This is the only artifact like it ever discovered, because it requires really specific conditions for something like this to happen. This individual was found in the Roman city of Herculaneum. The pyroclastic flows that famously destroyed the city reached nearly 900 degrees Fahrenheit. So hot that thankfully most people probably didn't even really feel it. For whatever reason, this young man rapidly cooled, which caused his brain to harden into this glass-like structure.
Lack of consensus on the pronunciation of appellation that's going in the oh my god, stop with the book.
In a process known as vitrification, preserving not only the physical structure of the brain, but literal neurons captured in glass that had been firing in a mind 2,000 years ago.
That's
it's
amazing!
Far from the only strange discovery at this site. So of course I had to make a whole video essay on it.
I need to watch this too!
Come check out the
I need to watch all these damn videos!
Mini Minute Man. Did you know that they...
I'm gonna say this here and now. If this video does well, like if this reaction does well when I post it in a couple days, I will absolutely watch all of these because these all sound so damn cool. These all sound so damn interesting.
Drained Niagara Falls? Because I sure didn't. This was complete news to me. Now, why would they go and do a thing like that? Awesome question. Niagara Falls is the middle point of the Niagara River that runs between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Since it's a waterfall, it's constantly eroding backwards upstream. This backwards erosion is the natural progression of this waterfall that's been going on for like 15,000 years. You know who really doesn't like the way that nature works? The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The U.S. and Canada got all pissy that there was all these boulders building up at the bottom of the falls because they were making the falls look smaller than they actually were. So they decided to apply the time-tested principle where if you feel a little self-conscious about the size of your falls, you can always shave a little. So they decided to shave off some of the boulders. So the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers builds this dam and cuts off the flow to the falls. And they drive trucks and cranes and all this stuff out there to start doing surveying. Then some genius made the discovery that if they remove all these rocks, it'll actually make erosion worse. So they did some reinforcing with concrete and called it a day. And that is why they drained Niagara Falls. Check this thing out. This is called a thagomizer, and it did things like this. The thagomizer is a very unusual name.
That's it's a Stegosaurus's tail. I thought it was like an ankylosaur.
Unusual cluster of spikes on a Stegosaurus's tail. Paleontologists speculate that this cluster of spikes was used for self-defense. Take, for example, this fossilized wound on an Allosaurus's pubic bone.
Oh.
Ouch. There's a whole lot of things in this planet I wouldn't want anywhere near my pubic bone, but this thing has got to be pretty near the bottom of the list. Probably the most interesting thing about the thagomizer is how it got its name. I shit you not, it got its name from a Far Side comic. A fucking Far Side comic.
Wait,
now, well, this isn't like the widely accepted scientific name for this thing. It is kind of the only name for it. Which means that in scientific circles, the name used to describe this has its origins from Gary fucking Larson. That's just incredible. Anyway, if you like cool archaeology stuff, go check me out on YouTube.
Oh, that's
YouTube
amazing.
Channel, Mini Minute Man. You guys hear that they just found this pile of sticks? You might be wondering what makes this pile of sticks so special, and that is because sticks are not normally this old. This is the remains of an ancient hunting kit. An archaeologist discovered it in the San Esteban rock shelter in Texas, and it is estimated to be 6,000.
You're telling me the Texans were hunters even back in the day? Oh my god, you had 6,000 years ago we had Texas hunters.
Years old. See, most artifacts of this age are all made of stone, because more delicate natural materials like wood and animal hide all decompose. So while finding projectile points is obviously fascinating, finding natural materials like this is actually much more rare and can tell us a lot more. These items can all be accurately radiocarbon dated, and chemical analysis can tell us a lot about the ancient environment that this hunter once lived in. Amazingly, the scene that these things were discovered in was so well preserved that we almost know exactly how they got there.
That's crazy.
Right near where these were discovered, there was a small fire and ancient human waste. Many of these darts and hunting instruments were broken, which means that an ancient hunter once used this cave to take 5, go to the bathroom, and get rid of all of his broken tools. After he left, his little campsite would go untouched for 6,000 years.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Oh, that was so good. Wow. That was such a pleasant surprise. Thank you for recommending that. I really enjoyed his content. I can't wait to watch more. All right, let me put music on again. That was a pleasant surprise. I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do one more video. I'm gonna skip the Extinct Zoo video for now. I am going to okay, the video is 15 minutes long. Let me go and let Yura know so Yura can start setting up, because we're gonna raid into Yura when I'm done, and then I'm gonna take care of the baby. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give Yura the video I was gonna watch for the day. I think because I know Extinct Zoo works for her. So let me just quickly grab that video. Let me just find it wherever it is hiding. Where the fuck is it? I just had it. Oh, I hear the baby. Actually, we'll probably hear her a lot because she's probably gonna come out here in a minute. Okay. Grab this one. Give this to Yura. Here's that one. And then, Pen, could you do me a favor? Actually, no, you don't need to. Never mind. I've got 2 perfect videos. Yura will be a happy camper with these. How's over here? Okay. Oh. Okay, hold on one second. I'll be right back. I just want to check something with her. Okay, okay. We have a little guest with us for this one. BB is going to be on my lap for this last video. I'm going to let Yura nap. She's a little bit too tired. I don't know if she's going to be streaming today. What we'll probably do is I'll take off Wednesday, and then Yura can just work on Wednesday. That will work that way. Because right now she's very, very tired, obviously. So BB's going to hang out with us. Yeah. She's just hanging out. She's just being a cutie patootie. I'll probably be a little bit more soft-spoken for this next video. Okay, yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Hi. Do you hear her little sounds? Do you hear little going, bat? Yeah, she's just here hanging out. Yeah. I love. Yeah. Getting fussy. You gonna start Yeah? Yeah, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Why are you being so fussy? What happened? I can see why Mom is so tired. What the heck? What happened? What happened? What happened? Huh? Huh? God. BB's not saying hi, attack. BB is saying, I'm going to destroy you all. Poop on her, BB? No, right now the goal is for BB to just be calm. It's just for BB to be calm, but she's in a mood. Oh my god. This is what, yeah, she's angry. What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Oh, you know what? You know what? Let me feed it. Let me. Okay. Hold on, baby. Let me go. Let me get a bottle. Oh my god! Ah! She has such long. You could tell she's my child. Hey! It's okay. I'm gonna get you food. Don't. No. Stop. Calm. All right. I'm gonna go get you food. All right. Video's gonna be postponed for a minute. Let me go and get her a bottle. I'll be right back, chat. Okay, I have the bottle here, but she's now calm. I'm not gonna question it. We'll see how long that lasts. Right now, she looks like she's falling asleep in my arm. Man, now I want another baby. See, I'm very, very happy to say we're gonna do one and done. I've said before, I think people are really disingenuous when they tell you how lovely the newborn stage is. While she is the greatest thing in the world, the newborn stage is rough. I can't wait for the toddler stage, because newborn is the screaming out of nowhere. It's only like one of like 4 things that it could ever be, but it's like rolling the dice and trying to solve what it is, right? It's like, okay, are you hungry? Do you have gas? Are you overtired? Are you undertired? She's being really sweet right now, so we'll see. Oh, she's so cute. She's such a cute little baby. So make sure that she's got enough room to breathe, because I'm holding her with one arm. People really lie about the newborn phase. I don't know if that's because they just want to make sure that babies get born, but the newborn phase is by far the worst thing in the world. She's worth every bit of it. She's perfection in my eyes. But man, that's screaming. We yield, tiny child. We yield to your unyielding rage. I feel like they're trying to do that during the newborn phase. You have to constantly be afraid of SIDS, which is like horrible. So you have to be like, okay, all right, for example, we have a rocker for her, right? And it's supposed to be this really nice tool that'll help us get her to sleep when she's like, stir crazy and stuff, right? And it's like, oh, you can only keep her in it from 6 to 9 minutes because otherwise she can get SIDS. It's like, what? What? Okay. I'm debating if there's something we should watch instead that's calmer. I don't think I'll be like super loud when I talk about the Dark Eldar video. People don't even mention SIDS here. SIDS is scary. SIDS is by far the scariest part about being a parent. They're mobile. She's gonna start screaming. I already see it. Her eyes are opening. Don't do it. Don't. Oh, here we go. Hi. 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 It's okay. Why are you flailing? What, you hungry? Do you crave the loops? You dropped your pacifier. I'm trying to catch it. Hang on. Okay. Pacifier caught. Okay. Shh. Okay. You win. You win. Okay? No, honey, you win. I'm gonna Potato, I am going to feed you. You just need to hold out for 2 seconds. Do you want the loops? You know how hard it is to open? Yeah? Yeah? Hey, it's okay. I'm trying. She craves violence. No, she craves the loops. She craves the loops. Okay. I'm trying to get the bottle ready. Ah! You guys are hearing it in real time as I try doing this. Yeah? You hungry? It's so hard to do this with one hand. It's so hard to do this with one hand. She's not patient. No, she's not. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move my model to the middle of the screen. You guys get to hang out with me while I try to feed her. Yes, I know. Oh, baby. Okay. All right. Here you go. Loops. Have your loops. Okay. I couldn't move the model to the middle of the screen fast enough, but she's now getting satiated. Better? She's like I need sustenance. I need the fuel. Is okay. Yeah, little Vivi. Loops for the loop god. Yeah, she needed loops for the loop god, milk for the milk throne. Yeah, is it better? Yeah, watch her to do this, and then she's gonna instantly like shit herself. Little beam. Tetra is now battle shocked until the next command phase. Honestly, yeah. Well, I had one hand free to be able to pause and stuff with the video now. Now I don't have a hand free. I'm getting major PTSD from helping my aunt with her twins. I'm so sorry. Morbid time? I mean, the morbid time is bound to happen. It's bound to happen. Like the thing is though, with her it's tough because sometimes it won't be enough, right? Like not even food wise. Like she'll get enough food, right? She'll get enough bottles, she'll get enough milliliters of milk. But then she'll just still be angry. And it's like, okay, so that wasn't the solution. So it's like, now I gotta burp her. It's like, okay, so maybe it's gas. And then you just like, does this help? And then it's like, no. It's like, okay, are you just tired? And then it's like, well, all right, that means I gotta walk with you and rock you for the next like 4 hours. You okay? I wonder if she has a fever. My hands are ice cold, so it's hard to tell, but I actually check her temperature. She feels, the back of her neck feels warm, which usually is a sign. Like, they're warmer in general. Like, I almost had a freaking heart attack the other day. We checked her temperature and it was like 99.5 in Fahrenheit. And like, for any normal person, that's a fever. So I'm like, oh no, the baby has a fever. And then you look and it's like, you learn that babies' temperatures run high anyway. So it's like, oh, okay, she doesn't have a fever until it's above 100. BB says no reaction time, don't worry about it. Today was a very productive anyway. Blood for the blood god, yeah. You feeling better, baby girl? Were you starving? Were you starving? She's such a sweet little bean. Yeah? You were supposed to be my co-host for this last video. You're supposed to be my co-host. You don't sound like you want to be my co-host. You sound like you want to be loud and be a little demon. Yeah? Yeah? I love you. You're so perfect. I will say parenthood is really nice. Stressful. Stressful and exhausting, but it's really nice. So, apologies, by the way. I know that this is not exactly content right now. You're just going to hear me talking to my baby girl. Stage fright? Vivi doesn't like collabs? Yeah. Oh, I miss those noises. Nom nom Vivi. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Best co-host? Yeah, she's my little nerdling. Did you drink all of it? No, you still got a little more. You still got a little bit more. She's so cute. It's fine. I know it. She's the DK to your Bricky. It's kind of sobering to realize that means BB will view everything pre-2026 as just history. You know, like, damn, entirely new generation. Yeah. What a funny little creature she is. She is. We're having fun. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, you good? You good? Well, she's the most important. But put it this way, if she doesn't calm down, I'll probably end stream. And then we'll just put the Crack Duck video into the queue for Wednesday. Or not Wednesday, but for whenever. Well, I guess Friday would be the next one. Because I got 1, 2, 3, 4 videos done today. Which will get me through... I have a video already queued for tomorrow, so that will get me through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, so I'm good until Friday. I'll be fine. Because like I said, I'm going to take off Wednesday, so Yura can go on. Okay. May I take the bottle back? Okay, you okay? Did that help? Did the loops help you? Yeah? You look like you're a little bit drunk right now. You look like you're drunk on milk. Yeah? What's up? What are you feeling? No, you being fussy? You want me to burp you? No, now you're falling asleep? Do you not want me to burp you? Do you want to just pass out? What do you want? Man, you want your binky? Want your binky? No, you don't want your binky. It doesn't taste like loops. No. Okay, I'll take away the binky. Wait, do you want it or not? You keep on trying to pull it back. Okay, you don't want it. Okay, you don't want the binky. Okay. This is too precious. She's just a little goober. She's such a little goober. What? Mwah. Stop making the loop face. You can't still be hungry. Stop making the loop face. She does this thing. She'll stick her tongue out, which is like a feeding cue. She's like, I am still hungry. It's like the I am Steve. She's like, I need food. That's your great mom? No, I'm just doing my best to raise my baby girl. Okay, hold on. Ah. Okay, hang on. I gotta support your neck so I can burp you. Stop trying to stick your tongue out. What are you doing? I gotta burp you. Ah. But the loops, mother, the loops. The thing is, she's already so strong. Like, her neck muscles allow her to lift her head. She shouldn't be able to do that already. It's like a cudgel. Mother requires attention. Oh, there we go. There you go. You must feel great after that burp. Oh, and a little bit of spit up. Okay, well, you know what? I guess my sweater will be your rag. It's okay. My sweater's your rag. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, God, it's still coming. It's fine. It's fine. My clothes are replaceable. Stop spitting up, though. Oh, my God, it's still coming. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Well, my sweater's dirty, but that's okay. I got my little goober. All right, now you rest. All right, now you rest. You just take it easy, little one. I got you, babe. She's giving the flying headbutt, yeah. Mother, I require sustenance. She got her sustenance. She got a burp. What? What, ma'am? Who? What are you making that face at me for? What are you making? Gosh, she's so cute. Clothes can be cleaned. Yes, memories are forever. Memories are forever. Well, that's strong, my little brother. Girl, I'm trying. Oh, baby. I'm sorry. You want your pacifier again? I'll try again. Okay. Hang on. No, just come on. I know it's not food. Do you really want me to give you more food? I mean, I'll give you more food, but wait. Oh. So the pacifier thing is an interesting one because you're not supposed to, if they reject it, you're not supposed to give it to them. But it's hard to discern sometimes whether they're rejecting or if they're having a hard time latching. All right, you know what? Hang on. I have an idea. All right, chat. I'm going to talk with you guys, but I won't be able to hear you. Well, I mean, you can't talk to me anyway, but I'm going to just stand here. But hopefully my tracking will still pick up. I'm going to bop her. Like, I'm just going to rock her a little bit. Yeah, there you go. I got you. It's okay. She makes a trifecta. Oh, baby. It's okay. Do you not like the fact that... Do you need more food? Do you want more? She's still... Okay. I'll give you whatever you want. I'm a very easy mom. I'm very easy. Okay. Hold on. Okay. My heart... Okay. I just need you to hold on for 2 seconds. Can you do that for me? I know. Hold on, I'll give you the rest. Okay, hang on. You're getting the rest, I promise. You're getting the loot. Yeah, I know. Again, one-handed, doing this one-handed is a legitimate challenge. Hungry little thing? Yeah? I'm trying so hard right now with one hand. Okay, you're getting everything you want. Don't worry. You just need to hold out for 2 seconds. Okay. Yes, I know. Okay. Okay, here you go. More food. All right. The hardest part is not the crying. It's not the managing her. It's trying to make sure that you grab all the pieces of the bottle without touching any of the tip of it, because you don't want that to go into her mouth if you have not scrubbed your hands every second of the day. Trying to do that with only your one hand because you're holding her with the other. She needs a loops button? Yes. Mother, I crave the loops. Mother, I crave the loops. She's just well in the making. The nails are biting, mother. This is peak content, is it? Is it? I'm sure it's not the most common content. But I'm more than happy. I was saying this to Yura. I'm like, anytime you need a moment of break, because usually when I'm streaming, Yura's managing all of it by herself, right? Like, I do the same for her. I do the same for the baby when she's on. But the thing is, I usually go on a little bit longer, so it's a little bit of a longer stint. So it's like, I always told her, I'm like, if you ever need a minute, because like right now she's really exhausted, right? She needs more sleep than I do to function. I can run on 4 hours, you know, split up throughout the night. She needs like 6 hours, right? So I tell her, I'm like, anytime you ever need me to just hold the baby, I'll stream with her. I don't care. I love holding her. It makes me happy. She brings me all the joy in the world. Isn't that right? It's adorable seeing you be Gillamong for real. Okay, that's all. That's all you got. You had all the loops. All the loops. All the loops. Now let's bop. Bop, bop, bop. Oh, come on, just relax. No, you're not gonna relax. Okay, you are a grumpy little grump right now. You are a grumpy little grump. I can see it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here. It's okay. It's okay. You scream if you need to, but I'm gonna be here with you no matter what. Chat already knows you're here. You don't need to make it. You don't need to make a scene for yourself. But if you need to, that's okay. My daughter's now 6, about to be 7 in March. Aww. Hey, Blueberries, reckon there's a new chapter commander. Might need some loops. Might need some loops. Yeah. Hi. See, she's making the cutest faces ever right now, and I know it's gonna be followed by screaming because she's like leading up to it. She's just like, "Mother, hi." Oh no. Oh no, I feel her body forcing. I think she's trying to drop a deuce. Are you trying to be a nurgling? Are you trying to be a nurgling? Oh, yeah. I got you. I got you. I got you. I'm just rocking her right now. So I know you see my model just swaying. I'm just rocking the baby. We'll always have time for the holy BB Empress, beloved by all. She is the sweetest. No? What? What? She does. She. Oh, what was that? Was that a burp? What was that? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Ready? Ready? Here we go. Here we go. Gotta give you burps. No, come on. Tactical nuke incoming? Nope, she didn't poop. I think she's overtired. She's either backed up or she's overtired. You're okay. You're okay. Yeah. Okay. No, you don't want to burp? Okay. Do you want me to wrap up stream? Do you want me to wrap up stream? And then we'll just walk around the house together? Yeah? Okay. Guys, I think we're gonna wrap up. We'll watch the Croc Duck video another time. We got, what, 4 videos done today? That's okay. 4 videos is enough for the day. That gets us through until our next stream, which is all that matters, so I can post 1 a day. Alright? You guys take it easy. I love and appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Over on... Oh? I mean, once you take the pacifier, you'll be fine. You just don't want to take the pacifier right now. Whoop. Hang on. Oh, I got you. Hang on. Do you need to be free from the swaddle? Is that what this is? What are you doing? What is the sound effects you were making? Just take the pacifier. Can I say my goodbyes to chat? May I say my goodbyes to chat? No? No, you're being difficult? Oh, okay. You don't want the pacifier. All right, well, as I was saying, as I am covered in spit up trying to hold a very grumpy little baby, and that's okay. Mwah, I love you. But anyway, tomorrow we'll be on Twitch. We're going to be putting a stall on the Nuzlocke until Thursday. So tomorrow we'll be building Bellacore. So it'll be a hand cam video with with building. Okay. I love and appreciate you all. You guys are the best. You guys. Yes. It's okay. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. No. No. Okay. We're gonna say goodbye. All right.